Hello, welcome. It's almost HardLore time, but before we start, we've got an important message for you. HardLore Records is here. We put out our first record last week, Cosmic Joke's debut 12-inch. You can head over to hardlorepod.com right now to check out the all-new HardLore Records store.
We got all kinds of stuff. We got shirts. We got the Cosmic Joke record. We got stickers. We got everything. And you know what? You might want to act fast because the HardLore Records exclusive colorway of the Cosmic Joke LP is gone.
So thank you all for that. Check out hardlorepod.com. Check out that store. Also, quick shout out to our buddy Maddie Matheson, friend of the show, winning an Emmy yesterday. First ever HardLore guest to win an Emmy. So this is a quick congrats to him.
100% hardcore kid.
100% hardcore kid winning an Emmy. Beautiful thing to see. Now let's roll this episode. What's your name? Where are you from?
Morgan. I'm from Tampa, Florida.
Tampa, Florida.
Wow, all local.
Let me ask you something. This is really important.
All right.
What's your favorite thing?
Hardcore.
Okay.
Hello, welcome. It's HardLore time. How are you, Bo?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Fantastic. He's freezing in Chicago. I'm burning in California. You're all learning all about FYA Fest in this amazing episode we have because this is very special. Why is it special, Bo?
We've never done anything like this before. I think, have we had a fest organizer on before?
We had Martine on to talk about a fest beforehand, but
Yeah, amongst many other things too.
yes, but now we've got the man himself on to talk all about his handiwork. Please, everyone, welcome our good friend, Bob Wilson, the fifth of Mother of Mercy, Let Down, Malice at the Palace, and currently known as the creator of FYA Festival. Bob, how are you?
I'm good. I'm actually the fourth.
No. Don't get it. We don't got to get into all of that.
But it was a good attempt regardless. There is a Robert Taylor Wilson the fifth that's in hardcore. That
Really?
What? Your son?
I thought it was somebody fucking with me for a while, and I was hitting him up. I was like, "What's the fucking deal, man?" And he's like, kind of had a whole conversation about it. But he is actually just the fifth, so he's probably sent back in time to kill me or something like that. But,
Wait.
yeah,
Yeah, this is a looper scenario.
yeah, it's fucked up.
You know, this is unrelated to you?
I've never until FYA started. Honestly, I didn't know him, and then he like ordered a ticket or something, and then I met the guy.
You
And
are
then
John
confrontational
Connor.
Bob came back out. Yeah, what's the fucking deal, dude?
Of course, I always just think somebody's fucking with me. It's like, yeah, why are you stealing my name? Why are you trying to make a joke? So, but he's a good dude. I got no issues.
All right, well, if he's out there, congratulations on being the real fifth. We got the fourth here with us, I guess.
Yes.
Bob, this is exciting because we get to talk about this amazing fest that you put together that we both played this year, that we've both played before, that we both attended before. It's still going. It's still strong. It's better than ever. Is this your favorite FYA yet?
Yeah, I think so. Everyone, there's always, stuff that is like my favorite afterwards. But like, I think as a whole, I think this is, just going by like band set wise and everything, I think this is just the best one all the way through. So I'm pretty psyched 10 years in to, not just be downgrading or on like the downhill slope or anything.
Yeah, I said a couple times over the weekend that I think it's the vibe wise, it's the closest one to what United Blood was for a long time. And United Blood was my favorite fest for a very long time. And there's kind of that, Colin, you describe it really well with it being so early in the year.
Oh, dude, you start the year.
Yeah. You tell
you
people.
Make the tastes.
Yeah, here's what it's the overture for the year.
Yeah, I mean that's I like that aspect of it because it gets bands that I want to put over on like good shows, tours, records coming out, get asked to play other fests. You know what I mean? So if that's my role in things, I'm more than happy to be doing that.
It's a good role. It's an important role. It's funny. It's the only warm place in the world on January 6th.
Yeah.
Were you excited to celebrate January 6th in Tampa, Bob?
Yeah, no better place to celebrate outside of one other place, so it was nice.
Our one of our nation's funniest holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. FYA rocks. I'm gonna get the one criticism out of the way. Okay, Bob, we're gonna get this out of the way real early.
Go right ahead.
All right. I think I've gotta get hydrated here. Because I think I've been dehydrated for about 2 weeks since FYA, but you're working on that. It's fine. Let's get into the fest here.
Bob, when did it start?
2013. Me and Sam Triple B started planning it in like August, probably, and announced it in October or something like that. Like it was a really quick turnaround.
Was that at the old place, more in Ybor?
Dude, that was in Orlando at the fucking back booth, which is
Back
shit.
booth.
insane to think about now. Yeah.
Yeah, we played there together.
R.I.P. the back booth?
I think it still exists. I'm honestly not sure.
Okay.
But as far as I know, it still does. But I mean, it's like a fucking 300 cap spot.
That's the funny thing about the United Blood comparison is that like United Blood was always great, and it kind of at the start of the year, much like FYA, it was early.
True.
But that's like it was like a 600 or 700 cap.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say 5 or 6. Yeah.
That's a venue, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas this, how many? Quick spoiler: how many in attendance this year, Bob?
The venue says the capacity is 875. So legally, I'm going to say that's what it is. But it might be a little more.
in 11 short years, like tripling, the amount of people.
Yeah.
Steadily.
Quote unquote.
There was it must not have been sold out last year because there was a noticeable difference between last year and this year. I'll tell you that much.
Dude, it was the same exact. I don't know what it is. I think this is just the first year that nobody like bailed on the fest, or I don't know what the fuck is going on. I even bots and shit. Like I was checking in people and there's like 10 people who got scammed by bots. So I was just like, whatever. Like I'm not going to tell you to fucking go home or whatever. So I think, I do the same amount of tickets every year. So I don't know what the hell, literally from 3 p.m. on this year was headliner level packed. So
yeah.
I don't know if people were just more it was shitty out on Saturday. So everybody's crammed inside or something like that. But yeah, I have no idea.
I also think you sparsed out the bands and this was I look at the lineup, the order is pretty dead on. Even from having Balmora open, which we'll talk about Sunday, was great for Sunday because nobody was missing that one.
Yeah, but he showed up super early.
In general, who is making these calls? Is it a one-man team of Bob Wilson being like, I want these bands? Or do you have a little committee that you consult with? I know Scanlon's the stage manager, and he's the guy. Is he involved in this process at all? He's
involved, I pretty much just sit around. I'll always be open to ideas from my friends and people whose opinions I respect, and just be that makes sense. It doesn't make sense. Whatever. I'll at least think about what being on the fest if it works or not. But so far, I mean, this year Scanlon, EGH was Scanlon, because him and Dejan have been talking, and he's like, oh yeah, I think EGH might be down for a show soon. And then so he hit me up. He's like, yo, if you're down to try to make this happen. I was like, yeah, of course. I'd be stupid not to. But I would say it's probably 90% me. Just bands that I think are cool that I want to bring over or put over a younger band with a demo or something like that. I do have, I want to say a council, but an idiot check group. You know what I mean? Yo, my reason for thinking this would be a good idea. If I do Dying Fetus, am I a fucking dumbass, or is that actually going to work? Things like that. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
And that was the talk of the town for weeks.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that fucking worked out, but yeah, I'm not some weird dude who just thinks that I know better than everybody and everything should be my idea. I'll definitely bounce ideas off people and listen to what they think.
Was the intention of FYA to be kind of this is Hardcore South?
In terms of what? Just band wise, or
it's 6 months, it's or more. It's it's in a different location. I know obviously Joe and you work together. I was just curious if that was it's kind of like DX and NWO, frankly. And it's like just two different teams kind of doing a similar thing that is really impactful. I was just curious as how like because like we'll get to it, but we talked to Joe. I don't want to spoil the Man on the Street stuff, but he had a really cool insight into how the dynamic kind of is. And I was just curious as to how that started.
We're at FYA Fest with festival promoter extraordinaire.
So Bob Wilson has been like my little brother, honestly. And since he's a kid coming up in hardcore, he was special. When he had the opportunity to do this 10 years ago, I was not able to come to it. But to see what he built, especially as he built it to this level, the minute we got to the JCC, Bob was like, you got to come up here. So my job at these things is to make sure Bob gets to watch the bands and see his work unfold in front of him. I'm impressed every year how many new bands he brings, because this is the beginning of the year. Yeah. So our hardcore year unfolds starting at FYA.
100%.
And he almost became like the tastemaker, and this is the band that's going to be the best this year.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It wasn't really that. I mean, honestly, going back to 2009, I had like wanted to do something. And then I was just like, there's like too many things that cross over with what Joe's doing. That's like disrespectful, whatever. And then, so I was down in Florida, and it wasn't even like I don't think I learned a lot from Joe just in shows and fest wise, from fucking, he started in 2006 with the fest and everything like that. So seeing, what he did and like how he worked on things and how much he put into it and things like that, I think like really helped me, with the fest and shit like that. But yeah, it wasn't like, I'm just going to take what he does and put it in Florida kind of thing. Like, honestly, the first couple years, at least to me, I wanted to do more of like, I really liked playing This Is For You Fest back in the day. Like, I think, did Harmsway play that? I forget. Yeah,
okay. We did.
And like, cause I was like, oh, Florida's always like a more like you can like, DB shit, posy shit, like youth crew shit, whatever. Like, so that was my original intention. Like, I remember I like tried to get the World Burns to Death Singers other band to play the first year. I tried to get like Savage Heads, like things like that are just like different than the normal fest stuff. And then basically all that side of bands just told me to fuck myself. So I was just like, well, I guess we gotta not do that anymore. So it just kind of like morphed into what it is now. But yeah, it wasn't ever like, I just wanted to do something different than a normal hardcore fest, you know what I mean? So like, but yeah, This Is Hardcore in general. I think, like I learned a lot from Joe and everything that he did with his fest.
I mean, you were there,
right?
You were part of it, right? You were an underling.
Yeah, I mean,
How are you not going to learn?
Yeah, I mean, I played the fucking first 8. Like, I helped them, with band idea, like, So obviously, that's going to like influence me, and then obviously, like if I had any questions, I would like hit him up and whatever. So
yeah, that's awesome. Because I don't think people really know that. I don't really think like, the people who are putting on these big endeavors, like all kind of keep in touch because you guys all have to like know what's what and know who to book and blah, blah, blah. It's interesting.
Know who not to book and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too. Like I try as hard as I can not to, I'm like, oh, Joe's doing this, this, and this. I know Sound of Fury's doing this. I know, Tied Down's doing this. Like, so I just, it doesn't always work out, but I try as hard as I can to not overlap or like, just repeat the same shit that goes on at every other fest.
That's smart. You did a good job. Let's get into Saturday.
Yeah. Who opened Saturday?
We got DEADSET opening Saturday, Bob. Tell us about DEADSET.
DEADSET is 3 Knee Deep was a staple for the fest and definitely was a big part of like growing the fest, I think, over the years. And like, because it became like a thing, like, dude, you have to go to Tampa to see 3 Knee Deep. Like, they're never going to play outside of Florida, basically, whatever.
Yeah.
And that obviously changed over the years.
Also, their music was only listenable while watching them live or watching a video of them live for a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, people literally just watch the YouTube videos and learn the words through that, which is hilarious. But, and then it became like a thing. I was like, I've done them this many years in a row. I was like, but then the Ty, the guitar player, he had a new band, DEADSET. And then I always want to include them guys. And, I would try to put on Tampa bands as much as I can in a way that makes sense. So, yeah, I think, they started off and it was like fucking ridiculous. So I feel like, I mean, the dude knows how to write a fucking hardcore song. You know what I mean? So I think it was a really good way to start the festival.
He's battle tested. Yeah,
literally, yeah.
I'm glad to see he's still riffing.
I mean, last year when we did Man on the Street, the number one answer, like across the board, was 3 Knee Deep. So it shows.
For favorite Florida band?
Yeah.
So something I don't think we talked about you helping Joe, but you are a Pennsylvanian through and through, Bob.
Absolutely.
How does that end up in you booking the preeminent Florida hardcore festival?
When I moved back to Philly a few years ago, probably 2016 or whatever, I was like, I asked my Florida people, we're still friends in Florida. I was like, yo, like, if this is weird for me to still do this, totally fine. I understand. It's like kind of like I never want to be the dude that's like taking up space or whatever, like the gentrifier basically. So I was just like, if this is like a thing, just fucking tell me. Like it's totally cool.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, nah, man. Like you obviously help put over Florida bands and help us all out. So it's like you can still do it obviously, but it definitely doesn't make things easy. Like even shit like booking hotels for bands or like.
Oh, Jesus.
Checking out going to the venue to meet with security before the fucking day of.
Oh yeah.
For the same page, like scope out I never even went to the venue until the first day of the first time I was there. So I was going in, I was like, oh, we'll see how this fucking goes. So like, just like, yeah, I'm an idiot, but yeah, it definitely makes things harder, but I don't know. It somehow works. Like it adds like many levels to it that wouldn't exist if I just did something here, but. It all works out in the end.
Something we were loosely talking about too, Colin, was like when there are fests that happen, like Tie Down in Detroit, LDB in Louisville, FYA in Tampa, like how much money is coming in to that area over a random weekend that, it isn't a holiday.
Yeah. Is Tampa down with FYA? Do they see the tourism potential that you've brought in?
If they do, they don't show any appreciation to me for it. Like, I don't like in theory, like I do have like, there's like some food trucks that hit me up like, hey, like we have a bunch of people that come in when the fest happens, this, that, and the other. Even like the Castle, obviously I feel like it's probably kind of packed on usual Friday, Saturday night, but there's like, 1,000 fucking
scary.
Kids. Yeah. I've never been, probably never been.
Too scary.
That's so funny that you've never been. That's incredible.
Dude, I'm always at the fucking after shows, like settling with bands and doing whatever. So I'm just like, I'm just going to bed. But I like tried hitting them up. I'm like, hey, like, I know X amount of people go to support your shit. Like if you guys want to work something out, like if you have like a wristband, like $5 off, or you want to work out something, whatever. And they just just pretend I don't exist. I'm like,
wow.
Like,
yeah. Interesting.
So all you sick perverts out there going to the Castle every time.
Yeah.
Just know that they've iced my man Bob.
They're not down.
Think about that next year.
Which I kind of respect, honestly. I feel like that's a pretty, pretty like, oh, we don't want anything to do with you. Like, we're gonna keep to ourselves.
Crazy.
So.
You're getting them fed once a year, dude.
Yeah,
well, it's fine.
Castle, show some fucking respect. You're sick freaks, and you need to show some respect. All right, you got to get Black Magic Pizza out there.
Oh yeah, we'll get.
That's what I really
even if it's just there to feed me. We'll get them. Dimension 6 was next. Tell me about Dimension 6, Bob.
That's, we talked about United Blood with FYA and all that shit. And like, to me, that's a band that opens United Blood. And then it's just like, people fucking pile to the ceiling. Like it's fucking like Dry Spell or something like that. Like, and so that's like, when I first heard the band, I was like, this is like perfect. Like the continuation of like Naysayer and all them kind of bands. And I just love the demo. And I think pretty much as soon as, probably a couple weeks afterwards, like, yo, if you guys want to play the fest, like, let me know, because I think it would be perfect. And then I think a lot of people came away from the weekend if they didn't know him beforehand. I mean, that's just like, it's not in a derogatory way at all, just like a straight up hardcore band. And so I think obviously there needs to be more of that. So people getting to see that, I think, is a good thing.
Absolutely.
100%. And you talk about the United Blood sound is such a real thing.
It is. That's funny.
Like the way that songs were crafted for a while was like, I felt like the bands were like, this would do so good at United Blood. Like this dude, United Blood's gonna love this part. So I'm glad to see that is still alive. Tell me about All for All, Bob.
It's just kids from Syracuse that have been grinding for years, and they just really put on for their scene and try to make shit happen there. And obviously Syracuse has a, good scene going back 30 fucking years, but they're like the new young kids doing everything. And I just kind of, when I see like people really putting on for their scene and trying to make shit happen, I like, if I can give them a place where they can like kind of get it back and, you know what I mean? Like reciprocate it. Like I want to do that as much as I can. And like, hey, like Syracuse is popular right now. So it was either, you know, they have Deal with God, they have Street Hassle, they have a bunch of bands. So that was just like the one I was like, I like the other bands too, but I think All for All is like a good mix with what we got going on and everything like that. And then, yeah, obviously, you know, the set demonstrated how much love they've given to other people, and then, you know, other people like repping for them back, you know.
When I was a kid,
Yeah.
in my mind, Syracuse was up there with New York City. Earth Crisis was like Earth Crisis, Integrity, Madball were the same size band to me.
Yeah. Bob, we played Syracuse together on that Have Heart tour.
I played Syracuse?
Yeah. I went to
Wait,
Syracuse.
was it the Westcott Community Center or some shit like that?
It was on the floor. It was on the floor, is all I remember, of a big ass like wooden room. I think it was like a Polish center or like some nationality center, something like that. But I mean, there was fucking. I mean, granted, it's Have Heart Ceremony and Blacklisted, so it was packed. But I mean, it was, to my mind, it was like 600 people in like a big ass room, you know. Yeah. And like, so even that recently, that was like 2008 or 9. I remember feeling the same way, Colin, that it was like just like an
Syracuse
epicenter.
rocks.
Yeah, but you know, as with everything else, there's like 3 constants, like LA, the Bay, and New York, you know, and then everything else is going to have ebb and flow, you know?
Yeah. I'm glad it's ebbing and flowing.
Yeah.
You know? Man, are we going to take some breaks to talk about Letdown in this?
We have to. I have to talk about Bob Down, not into it.
Because Bob, you like, I'm sure, I know that you have to be aware, Bob, that you like are like a legendary fucker.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Like, that's what I like. I still see people now and they're like, yo, remember, like, you know, whatever situation. I'm like always on guard. So I'm like, yo, man, like whatever it is, if you got it. And they're like, no, I'm just saying, like, I was like, all right. So I just always still, I sort of have like PTSD, I feel like, to like this just stupid asshole bullshit I did, that I'm just like still like, hey man, you're a real dick. And I'm just like, oh, I really don't want to fight this dude 15 years later. But he's like, nah, it's cool now. I'm like, all right, whatever.
But it's, I mean, it's awesome. When your acts of little fuckery for me have always brought me such joy to hear. And I hope that it does the same thing for the next generation. You know, look at you now. You're 10 years into FYA after slapping beers onto bass heads and stuff, being one of the great modern straight edge frontmen of our time.
I mean, dude, that's like being on the other side of the shit for so long now. I'm just like I love seeing like chaos when bands play, but like I'm just thinking about like, dude, if I saw me do the things I do, like, it would be on one hand psyched, on the other hand I'd be like choking myself out. Like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're ruining the whole thing. Like, just please stop.
On one hand, psyched.
Dude, I remember we played together. Us and Letdown played. I think it was Convicted and Letdown played in like Akron, Ohio, somewhere in Ohio. Just like middle city, Ohio. And you jumped off a fucking speaker stack that was so high. And there was like 30 people there. And I just remember being so frightened for you. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's like, whenever like my back hurts or like whatever's going on, I'm like, if I was in a super popular band, all that would have been awesome. But I'm just like, just ECW in it, like New Jack shit, like nobody catching me, just looking like a fucking moron. I think that's the show too, where I told people to come up front, and some dude brought his chicken tenders and put it on stage, and I just kicked on like the first song, just looked at me, he's like, come on, man, I fucking moved up and you still did this. Like, I didn't say bring your fucking
Don't
food,
put the chicken tenders in the battlefield.
I'm hungry, I'm looking at food I can't eat, it's getting booty, man, I'm sorry. But
exactly. The
Bob Down not into it thing, I still have no idea. I feel like that was taken out of context. It had to have been.
I'll tell you the exact context, because like okay. All right, this is great. So Bridge 9,
hit me with it.
I don't remember if it was, I think it was probably the first LP, it was Reality Approaches, when the band kind of like sonically changed. And it was just a thread about the record on Bridge 9.
To the completely uninitiated.
Yes.
Before Twitter, before Discord, before anything, the Bridge 9 Records message board was like the worldwide hub of the conversation about hardcore.
Yeah. And like,
so what we're doing now, talking about FYA in a show, did not exist. Everybody talked about it in a thread about it later. Bunch of people got beat up. It was awesome.
Message by message too. It's something that
Being
people
like,
can't
can you
even
believe Bob
Yeah.
killed that guy when he jumped off the speaker?
But your handle was like Bob X down or something.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And and
horrible name.
Just in the thread, you would go to these things. I spent 2 years of high school only on Bridge 9. That's like all I did.
Same.
So you would learn names, and people would become like little micro celebrities in my high school brain, and you would remember names, blah blah blah, and it said Bob X down, not into it, no caps. No punctuation, just not into it. So then, like amongst like Caution and like the original Harm's Way group, like the original lineup, you just became Bob Down, not into it. And it was never like a fuck or like we were pissed or anything. It was just like again, just like it was a point in time when you could like now it's a bit of a faux pas to be like, oh, that band sucks, or to be like, I really don't like this. Like on the internet, it's like,
it's only on Crate. Only on Crate can you get away with it.
Yeah, you can't really, So at the time, it was just different, and it was just like, he's just not into it. It was just like a thing. And you've been, I think you're Bob Down, not into it on my phone. You've been that forever.
You hate Harm's Way, Bob?
No, that's the weird. That's why I'm confused, because I liked Harm's Way. So I maybe I was just being like a douchebag, like shockingly on purpose. But like I have no excuse for it. I don't know. I didn't even have a computer, so I was definitely on my friend's computer on the message board doing like, I don't fucking know, man.
How old are you?
I'm 38.
38. Okay, so two years older than me. I mean, that makes sense. We were probably all doing this. And then Colin, you're like 3 or 4 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So we're all just doing the same thing all around the same time.
Just posting at school. What doesn't line up is I feel like Bob would be so pro Harm's Way. Being a hard straight edge man that sounded the way that you did, I would imagine Bob would have been your first fan.
You got to remember that
he was in full fucker mode, 100%. He loved it, and he still said not into it.
That plus like from demo and the 2 song 7-inch to the and Imprisoned into Reality Approaches, there was like a change. Like we recorded at Bricktop, so it sounded like way more produced. It's a full length, which is kind of hard to pull off. Is that kind of blah blah blah? It was different. Yeah, it was just different. But
wasn't the first? It was Militant Mondays on the first thing.
Militant Mondays was on the demo. Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's why I was pissed off, because I was like, oh, now they sound like a real band or something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, exactly. And that is like that. We got that feedback a bunch. It wasn't like a one-off thing. It was just funny knowing this guy and then eventually touring together a little bit. It was just funny.
Anyway, legendary fucker, Bob Wilson. One of the general in the little fucker army for sure, forever. Hold My Own is up next. Friends of the show, Woo! Friends of the Bow.
I just went to their record release show 2 nights ago here in Chicago.
How was it?
How's that?
Sold out. It was fucking crazy. It was Bulldoze, Volcano, Hold My Own, Bayway, Out of Pocket, Enervate, and then a band that opened who I apologize, I'm forgetting. It was amazing.
Yeah, the videos look good.
Bob, I know you'll agree with this. Like, the youth are out in droves for hardcore right now. Like,
oh, absolutely, yeah.
So many young people, so many new faces. Like, I went to this show
God,
right up the street from where I live. Very much like aware of all the bands playing and blah blah blah, and like not too many faces that I recognized. Which I think is like
awesome.
It's a good thing. It's a really good thing.
This genre is for people under 20 years old.
Jesus,
we're not going to be here forever. We're not supposed to be here forever. You know. So I love to see the median age of a new hardcore kid like 3 or 4 years ago was like 25.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was brutal.
It was brutal, dude. It was terrifying because it was like, where did you come from? What did you have before this?
Right.
Why?
Right.
Why do you want this?
How'd you
and
find
now
this?
the kids are here.
Yeah, now it's 19.
We need them.
Yep.
Hold My Own.
Yeah,
fantastic, man. We wish them the best.
Yeah.
Greg's been busting his ass. I mean, there's no reason. They play more than... I don't understand the amount of shows they fucking play, considering they're all over the fucking country, and Greg has like a real ass job, obviously. So yeah, I was psyched to. That was probably the best I've ever seen them play. I mean, the videos from the record release show looked awesome the other night. So feel like they're catching on and kids are super into it.
And
Greg.
it's cool. Yeah, I was going to bring up Greg. It's cool tying back into the This Is For You thing. Like Mongoloids, I remember having like one of the best sets at This Is For You the year that we played. Like, so it's like, it's crazy to think like that long ago. Yeah. And he's still, and you know what's cool, dude? Colin, which I know had an impression on you. He still does little melodic flares and does little like trills and stuff. And like, that's fucking like, that's what made me like Mongoloids back in the day. Like, I still love that stuff. So it's so
well. And
awesome.
he's also a 5-star general in the little fucker army. An all-time bastard, dude, in terms of just like being a straight-edge front man that was going to let you know.
Yeah.
So I'm a day one Greg guy.
Dude, I have to tell a Greg story. I have to.
Hit me.
So This Is For You was the first day of this tour, our first real Harm's Way tour. And Mongoloids plays. They're like doing kind of like a noisy intro kind of a thing. Greg has his back to the audience and he like is crouching in front of the drums. He stands up and he's got 2000, I think it was 2009 New Year's flashing sunglasses on because it was turning to 2009, right? And he just turns around and like no sells it and he's just like starts the set yelling with these flashing things, right? Dude, exactly. Literally that. So then the tour
I would have been like, yeah,
I am.
I'm feeling you.
And so then the tour goes on. And it was like a month. So it was like, you know, maybe 3.5 weeks later, we're ending in Clinton, Massachusetts, where I met Colin of Arabia that night, which is another full circle moment. Yeah. And Mongoloids happens to be playing that show too. So they played the first show of our tour and the last show of that tour. They start with the noisy intro. Greg's got his back to the crowd, is facing the drums. He stands up. It's like January 15th at this point.
They're still
he
on.
turns around, they're on and they're flashing. And it was just like fuck. Like the little bits of humor, like it made an impression, you know. Loved it.
Fucker. Absolute fucker. Big fan.
Sure.
Burning Lord. Wasn't the homie from isn't the homie from Blistered in it?
Oh, Lennon was filling in for him. Yeah. And he's Philly now, so here we go. They're awesome. The record's coming out soon, so it's just one of those things where like I love the band, and I thought that if they played in front of a bunch of people would come away like, what the fuck was that? And they played a few songs off the new record that people haven't even heard yet, I don't think. And yeah, it was awesome.
Who else was in the band?
Yeah, it's like half of C4, bunch of other bands like Vantage Point, I think. Just like Boston people.
They rock. Love the vibe. Love the name. It's very Japanese. You know,
just sounds like a band that'll be on like East Coast Assault 1 to me or something like that. So I fucking I love it.
Yeah, or just like a Burning Spirits type.
That's it.
Shit. Because it's just two awesome words next to each other. Out of Pocket was up next. Bay Area hardcore.
I'm Joseph Guillot.
Joseph Guillot?
Yes.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
What was your favorite set yesterday?
Yesterday, well, I think it was either Out of Pocket or New World, man. My friend's, he got kicked in the face and fractured 3 parts on his skull.
Okay.
But he's okay, don't worry.
He's going for 4 next year.
He's going for 4.
Playing in Tampa. I love to see them continuing. They lost Chris from Out of Pocket passed away recently, and they're still rocking. So it was very cool to see. It was cool to see the Bay Area people in the pit for this one. Tell me about booking Out of Pocket, Bob.
Yeah, the Bay rolls out super hard every year for FYA, and I just really love what they got going on now. And Out of Pocket played Philly. They came through on tour, and I was like, so I wanted the band from out there, and I was trying to figure out like what I want to do. And then I was like, I'll see them live and see how I feel about it. And they fucking crush it here. And then as soon as they're done, I was like, yo, if you guys want to play FYA, just like let me know. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, they just not like it wasn't like a tryout or some shit like that. But I was like, I feel like if they're as good as I think they are, like I'm gonna ask them as soon as they're done playing. And they're all like,
fair.
Yeah, like, and they're all just young kids that are psyched on hardcore. Like, I feel like we could ask them to come fly out on a Tuesday night to play like a 50 cash spot. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude, we'll be there next week, like whatever. So they're like super psyched on hardcore, and then their set was like crazy. It
was really good.
Yeah, the singer was saying, I guess when they started, it was like a bucket list thing for them to play the fest, and like the kid that passed, I guess he was just like, yo, it's just like awesome that like, you know, it's horrible that he fucking passed away, but like even him knowing that they got asked to play before all that happened, like made him happy. You know what I mean? And like I just like that fucked me up when he said that at the after show. I was like, God damn it, man. But yeah, I just think they're just gonna keep on getting bigger, and I love those kids. They're sick.
It's amazing.
They're awesome. There's a something magic in the water in the bay right now.
Lead.
The whole world can feel it. R.I.P. Chris, out of pocket, doing it. We got Warren up next. P-fucking-A-H-C, baby. Tell me about Warren.
I first was into them because they just sounded like Think I Care, and like off the bat, I was like fucking down. And the kid Dan's been around forever, and I was like, I wanted them to play last year, but it kind of felt like I was like, we'll see if they get new shit. And then they put out 2 records this year, both are awesome. Yeah, I mean, I was like, all right, but
are they Scranton Wilkes-Barre?
Yeah. Although Dan did move to another one that moved to Philly, so we're claiming them now. So we're eating up all the SWB bands. They're hard as fuck. Their set was great. They did a War Hungry little interlude. So yeah,
that's nice.
Can't go wrong with that.
Beautiful. Good job, Warren. Envision. One of the great memes of the fest so far.
Oh my.
Well, what is it? Am I unfamiliar?
It's the one, it's like a big sing-along picture, and there's just a guy like dead on the floor next to it.
Just face down, arms at his fucking sides.
It's so good, dude.
It's a perfect picture.
This is what this pick is what hardcore is all about, dude. Your enemies beneath you while you're arm in arm with your boys, singing relatable words.
I believe he's in a band called X Threat from Syracuse, actually. So hope he survived because the band's good. So.
All for All is holding it down for Syracuse. Sadly, they lost a warrior in the Envision battle. He'll be back. Because this is God. This is legendary. And now he's immortalized all over again in this episode.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
I mean, when you hear the guitar solos kicking in for Envision and the sing along starts, there's not many options but
You're
to just
dead man.
I gotta lay down.
It's so good. Here it is again. All right, New World Man was up next. Bob, you know how everybody knows how I feel about New World Man at this point. Bob, I'm sure you agree, considering they opened last year, and here they are midday.
They ain't opening this year.
Damn right.
Tell me about New World Man, Bob.
I love the first thing, and then the newer thing. Like, I don't understand. It's the craziest band I've ever heard in my life. I think like they have Primus parts into just like Force Entry parts, and the whole fucking thing is just psychotic. And it's just, and then Ridge is the perfect frontman for how insane the music is.
He might be my favorite modern hardcore musician.
They did the SOD
intro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the 2 songs awesome. Back to back. Yep.
That was awesome. I think this is my favorite band playing music, period, right now. Like any genre. So this was beautiful. Had a great time.
So once Oasis reunites, it'll be Oasis, New World Man.
I might even put New World Man over Oasis, depending on how the LP is. You know, once the LP drops, it might be game over for everybody else.
A lot of pressure.
Like I said in the awards show, I like them so much that I'm scared for them. You know?
Oh, sure.
Because most things I like don't get that popular. You know? Or things I think are dog shit are huge.
Right.
So I'm hoping that I'm right this time.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like the craziest backhanded compliment.
It is. Like, I love you, therefore I'm scared. I fear for you.
I love you guys so much, but I also love Primus, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, I love Primus.
Yeah.
You know, but they're pretty big. They're rich.
Yeah, they're doing
Primus
okay.
is rich. So I hope New World Man gets as rich as Primus. New World Man, Primus, the 2 greats. SCARAB up next. Our best new band of 2023 award winner. Tell me about booking SCARAB, Bob, putting them fucking 60% through the day. You're putting them over, dude.
Yeah. I mean, that's
them yinzers over.
That's again, we talk about like learning from Joe. Like, I remember the one year he put up, for some godforsaken reason, he put Let Down like 5th to last, and we're like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And he's just like no, these motherfuckers got to know that, like, Let Down, blah, blah, whatever. So I was just like, he kind of taught me the art of like, hey man, you position a band in a certain way on a bill, it's going to make people be like, oh shit. And like, that's obviously the one for them, because I want them to be the biggest bands in hardcore, like, period. So, like, I think even when Lennon sent me the songs, or Molly sent me the songs originally, I was like, yo, like, let me do a record. And then I was like, yeah, you guys are playing FYA too. Like, it wasn't even like a fucking conversation. Like, I was like, I know people are going to love this. I love this. I don't give a shit. And then, and then, like, you know, after their first show, even, I was just like, dude, if I put them like halfway through the day when everybody's there, like, it's going to pop the fuck off. And yeah, like, that set was, they are just the best band. It's like fucking crazy.
Yeah. Best new band of 2023. You heard it here many times. And it's like, why, if you're a festival promoter, you know, why would you not use this ounce of power that you've given yourself to psychologically teach the world that this is the next big thing? You know?
Yeah, literally. Yep.
Rainfest did it every year. They had Power headline that motherfucker every year, and it was insane. It was like Terror, Power, Andrew WK. So SCARAB is next. We're teaching the world. SCARAB rocks.
Dude, speaking of Rainfest really quick, I just found recently there's an excellent video, multicam video, and it sounds like soundboard audio of Bad Seed playing at Rainfest 2009 or 10.
I got my shit rocked during that set.
The amount of familiar faces in the pit is actually crazy. It's wild.
It's an all-star roster, dude.
It's wild.
It's an Olympic team in that pit.
Champ is playing drums, Save is playing guitar, and then the rest of Title Fight. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Check that one out. Who was
don't remember it. I think that was the worst pit injury I've ever had, is getting rocked during Bad Seed.
Bonked.
It was Jared Carmen. He got me. Division of Mind is up next.
Yeah,
They're back for blood.
They got a new record coming, hopefully this year. They hadn't played in a few years, so I was just like, I mean, I love them, so I think it's been a minute since they haven't played since the Cuban Club year. So I was just psyched that they came back, and then people still remember them, and people went off the new songs.
Before we talk about the Cuban Club, let me just say, Division of Mind, Richmond, Mount Rushmore.
Oh,
absolutely.
Very nice.
Period.
Is Castleside on there?
Castleside's 100% on that.
Yeah, dude.
DTN has to be on.
Of course.
You know?
Of course.
I think DTN did for Richmond what Backtrack did for Long Island.
Dude, well said. Very well said.
Brace War kind of did that too. But Avail, there's Avail and there's Brace War, and then there's like a couple conversations you can have.
Naysayer toured a lot.
Naysayer did a lot. I would have to say Brace War. A band from Richmond coming out of the gate and playing Sound and Fury like 10 years in a row.
Yeah.
Pretty big feat.
Yeah, pretty. And it's like, it's Braces. You know what I mean? It's like
the
guy.
king.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with that.
What's yours? Bob, I'm curious what your Richmond Mount Rushmore is.
Fuck. Count me out.
Yeah.
I forget they're from Richmond every time.
Yeah. Shit. Probably Naysayer. I love Naysayer. I would like watch them every day of the week if I could.
Friends of the show.
I'll throw Bar Fight on there.
Does.
Good answer.
Honestly, you have to throw. I probably agree with the DTN or Brace. I don't fucking know. They both, like, every band that comes from Richmond. It's like Blacklisted's from Philly, but no younger bands ever really like wanted to try to be Blacklisted, or like if they did, they fucking failed miserably. But like Richmond, I feel like every band just looks up to them and reveres them so much. Like to me, it's just like a tie, I guess. DTN and Brace War, like they are. You think of Richmond hardcore, you think of both those bands, yeah.
Yeah,
100%,
big time.
Also, any of the edge breaks that occurred between those two bands were so. The ripple effect that had on the hardcore in that city is like ongoing to this day.
That's how you know
those bands meant something.
Yeah. How many years was it at the Cuban Club?
Was it just the one? I think it was just the one. Yeah, and then it was going to be the next year, and then I was about to fly down to Florida the next day, and they told me I did not, in fact, have the permission to do the fest there. So that's why it was at Orpheum that year again.
Whoa.
So the Cuban Club, that was the one it was like right around the corner from the Scientology spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that one, for anybody who remembers from the Harm's Way episode, that was the one where Nick was green.
Oh, he's green?
He slept in a rental car for about 10 hours during the day.
That's awesome.
While the fest was going on. I liked that venue, but obviously it didn't work out very well.
The venue was great. That was like my favorite, like, because for years it was just at Orpheum, and I was thankful to have it there, but the fucking stage sucked ass. So I was like, oh, finally.
That's tall stage one with the chickens outside?
Yes, like City Gardens level, 8-foot fucking, like, risk your life to fucking jump off of.
That thing was terrifying.
So I was like, oh, people can actually dive finally. And then the only good thing that came out of that was killing Chain of Strength, because they played in front of like 25 people.
I didn't know if you would want to talk about that.
He said it.
Fuck them. I don't give a shit. No, I like a couple people in the band, but I don't give a shit. Yeah, they like were such babies the whole time, and then they were at the bar trying to pick up girls to come to the show. Everything about it was pathetic. And then so them getting their karma by playing in front of 25 people in a packed room after Earth Crisis, the real straight edge band, smoked them. I'm all about that. I don't give a fuck. I'm good. They haven't played since.
Ooh, is that true? Ooh.
They haven't played since?
No, one of my favorite bands on earth. Yeah, sometimes it's mercy killing. I can love your discography, but
yeah,
it is what it is, man.
Yeah, the picture was pretty.
Oh, the picture cracks me up every fucking time, dude.
Here it is.
Yeah. Boy.
Yeah, Earth Crisis rules, right?
Yeah, they're good.
Earth Crisis rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not, you know, it is what it is. Good job, Bob. You did good.
You did good, kid.
This episode's awesome. Regulate was up next. Before we get to Regulate and before we get away from Virginia. I don't think I've ever shouted them out on this show before, but Dead and Dreaming is probably one of my favorite bands of the last 15 years. So if you're listening to this and you want to hear a new thing that you like, listen to Dead and Dreaming. How do you feel about Dead and Dreaming, Bob?
They are fucked up. That's like actual
They're
insane person music,
up,
like
dude.
in a positive way. Like when they put out the I can't even remember. It was like maybe just like a new promo or something like that. I don't even know how long ago it was at this point. Like I liked everything up until then, and then I was like, dude, this is like crazy sounding. I think they're
with the Lion?
I believe so. Yeah. They're just There's a minute where they were like a big thing, and then people kind of forgot about them, but they're fucking great.
Well, this is what I'm talking about with the New World Man thing, where I say I like them so much that, like, of course it didn't work. Because they were operating on this level that was like me. I can process these songs and go, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But the average, like the consumer's mind,
you got a
like,
fucked up
too crazy.
You got a fucked up brain, so it works.
It's fucked. Yeah. So fucked up stuff.
Right.
I love.
Right. That makes sense.
Then Dreaming is I would say they're like the disgrace of that whole region.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah.
Where it's just like fucked up guys writing fucked up stuff.
Bob, what are you sipping on over there?
Just
Dr. Pepper heavy?
Yeah.
Heavy as hell, dude. The heaviest one I've ever seen.
All right, Regulate.
I love you're keeping Dr. Pepper alive, Bob. I'm really happy about that. I'm proud of you. You're right. You've been right there with me day one.
It's I don't know if this is like where you live too, but Dr. Pepper is out of stock a lot in the area now. Like since COVID, it was like a whole thing, and like no delivery today, and I felt insane like going to like multiple gas stations or Wawas trying to just get a fucking Dr. Pepper. So I don't know what's going on, but I don't know if we got to open up more factories or do something. It's becoming a fucking problem.
The supply chain's still fucked up.
Absolutely. I'll go to I don't want to reveal too much, but I have gone to in the last 6 months. I've texted people like, oh, on the third one, we'll see if this one has them. So
whoa,
they need to step their shit up. It's the only thing.
Dude, they're all here.
Yeah, we got plenty.
We're plentiful. It's plentiful here.
Plentiful doctors.
Okay, well,
dude, I've
flowing
made
like wine.
I've made a change recently. I've made a change to the mini. I've made a change to the mini cans recently. That's what I keep in the fridge. I like the mini cans.
Really?
Full heavy mini can or diet?
No, diet.
Do you like the zero, Bob?
No, absolutely not. I don't like the cherry vanilla John. I don't like the diet. I just need the regular. There's 23 flavors. What else?
Wait, you didn't like the Dr. Pepper cream soda one?
Fuck no.
Dude, it was incredible.
I know I'm in the minority. It's just not for me.
That's one of the great sodas of our time.
You're steadfast. You know, that's what Joss has been singing about for years.
It is. You're living you live the Josta mentality. Thank God. All right, let's talk about our good friends Regulate here.
Mm-hmm.
Other people that live the Josta mentality and the lifestyle. This was maybe the all-time great Regulate set, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they hadn't
Fantastic.
played. They played the second one. I think was the last one they played, and the lights went off halfway through, like a District 9 cover, I think. And that was like the only reason I remember that is because the first few ones there's like not that much memorable things, and I remember that happening. But
that was definitely John Lopez in the back of the room just turning the lights on.
That's a very good possibility, honestly.
I would bet my life on it.
But
this is the loudest 48 sing along of all time. This was great. I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
love the record. Love seeing them. One of the great modern frontman. I think we could all probably.
Oh yeah, Seb is unbelievable.
I mean, dude, him and Body being in the same band is like
it's crazy.
Not even
cracked.
Fair. Two of the best divers, moshers, frontmen. Like it's fucking crazy. Yeah, Seb has gotten injured. I think every FYA for the last like 4, and so I was glad he's actually able to play and not hurt himself. So that made me happy.
He's a pain pig, dude. He's an addict.
Pain pig.
He's sick.
Christ.
He's addicted to suffering. He loves it. But man, thank God for that because he gives it all every time. He's basically Michael Jackson. If Michael Jackson could spin kick
and back.
I mean, that's what I told him. I was like, you can dance like Michael Jackson, but he can't mosh like you. So you got to be better.
100%,
Damn.
100%.
Whoa.
That's one of those.
Period. Regulate. Gridiron is up next. The pride of. Oh, by the way, you doing okay?
It was a rough night for everybody involved, and then people got to just sit back and watch all of us just bicker with each other and talk shit to each other. So
the birds lost, Bo.
Oh, do you know what?
Birds are out
for
the season, Bo.
I watched my first football game in probably 15 years the other day. I watched the Cowboys-Packers game.
Going to watch. They got fucked up.
Yeah, it was great. I had a great time.
Yeah.
The Birds-Cowboys rivalry is all time, dude.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, so obviously I'm not a huge sports guy, but I do love like a good 30 for 30. I love a nice like rivalry story. Like that's fun. Who doesn't like that? So who do the Eagles like? Who's the biggest rival? Is it everyone? But who's like the
Cowboys?
It's the Cowboys.
Yeah, it'll always be the Cowboys. Like even if they're not like even close to as good as us most years, it's always gonna be fuck Dallas no matter what.
Yeah, so, that's Chicago and Green Bay. That's how it is.
It makes sense.
Even if they're way bad, like they're in the playoffs or whatever, like not the Bears.
I'm sorry about the Birds, dude.
It's all right. It was a long night. I was burning the midnight oil, just contemplating life.
Yeah, when you logged on today, I could still see some pain in your eyes.
I hadn't slept. I've been up for 36 hours straight this midnight.
Well, anyway, Gridiron played. I'm sure they're devastated today, too. Other than Will, because the Lions won their first playoff game since 1991.
Yeah, I mean, respect them. It is funny because I think only 2 people in the band actually like sports now I think about it. I think it's just Carl and Will. But they obviously like it enough for all of them. Yeah, they just...
for all of us.
I was everyone. Like, oh, they don't have like a new record. I was like, oh, but, you know, I feel like it'd still be good. And I just love them guys. So I was like, oh, we'll try it out. And then that was probably the craziest Gridiron set. I know For the Children, it looked like fucking otherworldly. So I was glad that...
Yeah, it was one of the greats.
Yeah, like their last 2 sets have just been like better and better. So just like to see what they end up doing this year.
I wanted to ask you how much you raised a good point about somebody not having a record out. How in depth are you looking at that when you're trying to book a band on a fest?
It weighs heavy, honestly. Like you never want a band. I just want a band to have as good a set as possible. So like I'll put them in a spot where I think they'll have the best set, or oh, you haven't done something for like a minute. Like I just don't think it's your right time, and like I don't ever want to offend people and be like, nah, man, your set's gonna suck, because it's not like that. It's just like I don't want you to waste time coming all the way here and just not having the best possible scenario. So it's like very rare, like unless, like, I mean, MINDFORCE hasn't had a new record in like a minute, but like, some bands like Magnitude rode the same record for fucking 5 years, but like they, so excuse me, not in a derogatory way. It's just like they can still capitalize or whatever. But it's like,
so did
I don't write a band off immediately, but it does make me less like, fuck, I need this band if it's not even like an album cycle thing, just like, they've played these songs for a minute, they can like take some time off.
There you go.
Totally fair.
Love it.
Everybody gets hurt. Obviously, a big exception to that. As you said, this was Scanlon being like they're ready, and Mike DeJean saying they're ready.
Yep.
I didn't know that Mike DeJean. He told us he went pretty in depth with us about like producing their stuff for the most part.
Oh, I had no idea about. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's what a powerful partnership this was. What an incredible set this was. I watched this whole thing right from the side just because it was like, all right, I better just wait here. And man, this is great. I feel like Tampa's like their second biggest market too.
Well, that's like, it's not, I don't have a fucking formula or some shit, but there is stuff that just like works. Like every year having like a New York, like literally just like a goon band, for lack of a better word, like, just there's so many New York people that end up moving to Florida, like band members or whatever, and just they end up getting down there. So I think that's also like part of it. Yeah, I mean literally, yeah, straight up. So like so every year, like going back to like when I did Billy Club the one year, and like obviously Bulldoze, like things like that, like it just the ignorant mosh shit, like specifically for like that era of New York, like I feel like just does like super well at the fest. So I was like having bands like that on it.
Have they ever played FYA before?
Nah.
Have they played Tampa? When was the last time they played Tampa?
It honestly might have been their first Tampa show ever. I have no fucking idea, but like, because I can't imagine they.
What I remember is it might have been an FYA or some video of like a Florida band covering "Everybody Gets Hurt," and it was like insane.
Yeah, I
remember at that time thinking like, "Damn, they should play Florida." So good job making it happen. Finally, this was awesome. "Everybody Gets Hurt" is a band I think that gets written off by their name, honestly. Because most people probably just assume they're a beatdown band. I've had people from New York tell me like, dude, I wrote them off forever.
Yeah, I mean when I was younger, I did the same fucking thing.
See, and it's kind of just like I would compare it to Cold as Life in the way where it's something completely different. In reality, they're doing a perfect blend of like everything we like about hardcore.
Yep.
And the name does not, if you think about it, it's a double entendre. It means like, it's literally like the REM song, Everybody Hurts. Sometimes, and then also like everybody's gonna get hurt in the, like, it's a cool name.
Like the pit is dangerous, but also as a human being, we all experience pain.
Yes.
Everybody Gets Hurt. One of the most beautiful band names ever. Amazing band. Twitching Tongues was up next. Tell me about Twitching Tongues, Bob.
I didn't watch. I'm not sure.
That's fine. No, yeah. Thanks to Scanlon for this one. This was. I know this was a Scanlon text being like, "You should come on."
Fuck no. Absolutely not. I'll tell you.
Wow.
No, this is. I was like, fuck. I think Twitching Tongues would be. I was like, you think they'd be psyched to play with like Dying Fetus and TY? And they're like, yeah, you should probably just ask them. I was like, I'll see what's up. What an
insane question.
I wonder.
That's, I was like, oh, they're playing a bunch of stuff. I was like, but it would be sick. I think they've somehow never fucking played. So yeah, I was when you might have had the quickest yes out of everybody that I asked this year, which is always appreciated. You didn't string me along, and you were actually seemed excited. So yeah, I was appreciative about that.
I mean, we had such a great time just being there last year.
Yeah.
And I had a great time playing the year before that I couldn't wait to play again. The FOMO that I experienced last year was unbelievable. You wouldn't believe it.
Oh, right.
So this year, this was really special. And, you know, our drummer passed away. I can't talk about it too much or I won't make it through this. A few weeks prior, this was our first show in almost 10 years with our original drummer, Mike.
Yeah.
So I'll never forget this one.
No.
Plain and simple.
Can I told you this, but I could say from an actual fan and from an outsider perspective, this felt so good to watch. It felt like a real triumph. I'm so proud of Mike for stepping up and filling some pretty big shoes. And then like, dude, just like in the hotel and hanging out and everything, like he's such a familiar little silly guy, you know, and like,
I mean, it's like we never missed a day together.
It was really awesome.
Years.
The set was fucking awesome. I know
you
said
easily
that
could have headlined. It was crazy.
Oh,
I know you said that 1720 was one that because of like the significance of headlining a hometown show, you know, blah blah blah. Yeah. So, and I didn't see that one. I've seen almost all the Twitching shows since you've been playing again, and this one to me felt like the most like holy shit. And you were wearing pants that looked like chinos, you know.
It was, dude. They're spin kick proof. You can't blow the crotch on them. So thank you, Arc'teryx, for those other anecdotes I can tell from this one. Mac, our beloved merch man and stage guy, unplugging the one sample that we played during the whole set was awesome.
I was wondering why he looked so panicked. Thanks. I guess that's what was going on then.
Dude.
Yeah. Well, also, dude, this was awesome. My mic cable got ripped out instantaneously.
10 seconds in. Yeah.
I was saying Kale's name, and before I could say his last name, it got ripped out. And then I plugged it back in and went to say his name again. But some good Samaritan in the front took the cable and just plugged it straight into the monitor and looked at me like, got you, dog.
Dude.
That doesn't work.
What a kind soul, though. But we need that. We need that. No. We need the wherewithal. If you're in a crowd, you know something's wrong, and you think you figured it out, try.
Respect for trying, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was straight into that monitor, and even in the moment, I was like, thanks, man. Nope, that's a monitor. Pivoted. You know those moments, guys, where like your mic gets unplugged, you're all frazzled, you're about to start this thing that you can't wait to do, and then you're thinking about it for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, remember that? That sucked.
Yeah.
And then you snap out of it. And then I kept making these conscious thoughts to snap out of it while we were playing. And like, it was beautiful. So thank you, Bob.
Dude, I mean, the sample came unplugged. You hit the thing and it fell off the little platform.
That was cool. Though,
the head case, that was cool. The mic came unplugged. Like, Alec wasn't able to do some backup stuff because you had to use his, you know what I mean? But that's
and he was at one point I think he was crying too hard to turn around. I think at one point the whole band was just like weeping while playing.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
But what I was going to say is that's the beauty of this kind of music. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Who wants to see a perfect thing?
Not me. I have a computer.
100%.
I want to see you fuck up and I want to see how you recover. That's what makes a cool bit. Like, that's cool to me. Dude, a perfect example is Gojira at Red Rocks. They played their like biggest single off of Magma, and they started and the pedals fucked up, and they're like known for being like meticulous, perfect band, closed stage sound checks kind of thing because they get it tight. They fuck up and they just kind of like that can happen, and then they like start over, and it's like that's cool. Perfect. Like even a band like that has that, like they know that the authenticity is what's important. And in the context of Twitching Tongues, that was like the coolest part because you had 300 people singing along, you know?
Yeah, it was cool. It was one of my favorite sets of all time.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That was maybe my favorite. I was trying to think. I was like, I don't know, like This Is Hardcore, the first set you guys played was up there, but I feel like this set to me was like the comeback, for lack of a better word, you guys have had is like fucking unbelievable. Like it's just like, it's awesome to see, you know what I mean?
Thanks, man. It's nice having this weekly propaganda show where it can happen.
It's working.
Every week, but yeah, it's working. It's been very special. Last time Mike played was This Is Hardcore 2015. So he went out of This Is Hardcore, came back at FYA. Symbolic.
Yeah, that's cool.
One of my favorite people in hardcore, Mike.
The fucking GOAT, dude. I'm so glad that people get to just experience Mike.
Basil and oak, baby.
One of the great woodworkers of our time.
One of the great carpenters of our day.
Better carpenter than Jesus, I would say. Hasn't been crucified like that other fucking loser. Anyway. Pain of Truth is up next. The band of 2023, my God. Album of the year. Tearing it up everywhere they go, and haven't played a bad show yet anywhere in the world, which is crazy. even in East and West Germany. How do you say that in German, Bo?
Ost und West.
Straight up, dude. They rocked there. So tell me about Pain of Truth, Bob.
I mean, they're one of the most like universally liked bands in forever. Like to me, like when they came out, it was very like when the TUI demo dropped. And like the 7-inch and shit. And then like, you know, with the LP, it's always like, well, let's see if they can keep up the energy. And then like, dude, obviously it fucking worked. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's the record's crazy. And then, you know, seeing people, because everybody knew every word to every song because they only had like fucking 7 or whatever. So now they know all the words to shit they play live. And then it's just crazy how massive they are. Like, it's awesome. I've never seen them play a bad set just because, like you said, I don't think they've ever had to play a bad set. So yeah, it was just
are capable of it.
Literally straight up. Like,
I hope they never do.
Yeah, same. I love them, and then that was probably my favorite time because I rarely do repeats, but I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna not do fucking Pain of Truth. So their third time, and honestly, might have been the best one they played. So it was fucking sick.
They're a band I think who, if they were missing from a lineup, you would in the Instagram comments be like, "No Pain of Truth," and you would like lose your mind. You know what I mean? Like they are that band.
Yeah, they ran 2023, and it's carrying. You started it off in 2024, and that's the beauty of a Bob Wilson of this world.
Bob Wilson John.
The Bob Wilsons of the world are able to say, you know what? I think this is their time, and clearly it is. So thank you, Bob Wilson.
Oh, you started the Bob chant too during Twitching.
I did. You hated that, huh?
I literally forgot about that to right now. I fucking. I don't like, obviously I appreciate when bands like, oh, thanks, blah, blah, whatever. But like when I feel anybody fucking looking at me, I want to fucking kill myself. So I was just like, this motherfucker's not doing this right now.
I did it.
Oh, you did it. And I wanted, if I could leave the stage, if there wasn't a crowd of people around to do that, I would have left.
Bob Wilson.
Bob Wilson. You fan?
Big fan.
Bob.
It's happening.
You're doing it.
Bob, it's all happening.
Run for office.
What's the best Florida band of all time?
Day to Remember.
Wow. Crazy answer. But thank you for being here.
Like if you're elementary school and like you pissed your pants or something like that, everybody's like yelling. Like, it was like the opposite because of a positive thing, but I hated the attention regard. I'm not saying experience. I pissed my pants in elementary school. It's
all right. Yes, if someone were to piss their pants in elementary school, I bet that would feel bad.
Miles Davis.
Yeah, well, they're going to be chanted for the rest of your life. It's going to everywhere you go is going to be Bob, Bob, Bob.
Yeah, you prefer to be kind of behind the scenes, huh?
Yeah, as someone you would think I would like attention for doing 6 fucking bands as a singer. I cannot stand that shit. Like I fucking hate it.
Interesting.
That's just because you love rocking.
Yes.
Interesting.
Love rocking. God, you're addicted. So addicted to rocking that it puts your. You don't mind the shame and embarrassment that comes with people going, look, there's Bob. So here's another thing Bob did. Bob put Dying Fetus on FYA.
Favorite sets so far?
Yesterday,
Yep.
it was either Gridiron or Dying Fetus.
Yep.
Those things were
Some good answers.
good cover right there for Dying Fetus.
It was
if I
good.
may say.
Thank you so much.
Bob.
Bob.
Yeah, this was like we talked about this for weeks on the show, just being like nervous.
I was
I got
so
goosebumps
excited.
just thinking about this.
Yeah.
How did this come about?
I've been trying to, I got to find an email. I've been trying to do it for like probably the last like 5 or 6 fests. And it's always like, I don't know, like it's like probably not feasible, or they're doing this tour or whatever, so it's not going to line up. And then, cause obviously like it's in Tampa. So like, you know, you like moshing, you like metal. The first band you think is like Obituary. You know what I mean? So I was like, forever, I was like, oh, like Obituary would be sick. And then in my head, I was like, Obituary would be sick, but like, was like, Dying Fetus is arguably more pitiable. I was like, I wonder if they would be like down for it. And
I wouldn't say it's arguable.
Yeah, right. Like obviously, I fucking, as everybody in here, I love Obituary, but like, I just try to think. I'm like, dude, like, I just, they haven't played a hardcore thing. Like when I was younger, they played hardcore shows, and like it wasn't crazy, but like obviously in the last like whatever 20-something years, they just really haven't like played that many like straight up hardcore shows. So I was like, oh, let's try this out. If it's a flop and people are just full of shit and they don't actually care about this, that's fine, whatever. But I always want to try it, and they were all psyched leading up to it. I know like the drummer like on here was talking about it, I believe, and then I had friends that he was talking to how psyched he was, and I mean just even them doing the set list that said like FYA like spin kick set list or whatever the fuck, like they get it, you know what I mean? And like they know, man. Yeah, literally, and like that's all you can ask for. It's not just like, fuck you, you're getting whatever we're going to give you. Like, they're like, nah, we get what's going on here, and we want to like make you guys like, you know, appreciate what we're doing. And then, yeah, I think it worked out awesome. It was fucking crazy. Seeing a room full of people sing Next Up lyrics was like, it was awesome.
That alone was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was so really smart. Beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And like we did a full episode with Trey, the drummer, while we were there. And a huge part of it is just about how big hardcore is to them as a band and how influential it is. And like, they know they wouldn't be where they are without hardcore.
It's one of the first things John said, I think, on stage, was like, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for hardcore and like people embracing us. So blah, blah, blah. You know, like he said something along those lines, like right away.
Yep.
And they are pound for pound one of the most pitiable bands in history.
Yeah,
what was the big one, dude? The dude. And then the second and then into
the woo, the audible woo during that moment, which sounded like 1,000 people hearing that song for the first time.
Yes.
Was incredible.
We were watching, I was on stage left. And I could hear that over drums, over everything. Yeah. I could hear the woo.
It was crazy.
It was awesome.
It was 1,000 people going, oh.
Literally, yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
As somebody who's usually very like woo hardcore, like dog barking in the pit kind of nonsense, that was like, it was like a genuine holy fuck. You know what I mean? So
like, oh, woo. Oh, woo. This is what this is.
And then seeing Aaron Melnick watch the Integrity cover that you did with him, like the video that got posted was like,
that was awesome.
Pretty crazy,
Inception
man.
shit. It was fucking sick. Yeah.
It was. That's the guy, man.
We should have grabbed him. I wish we grabbed him.
I know. That's an all-time that's like a Mount Rushmore hardcore riffer.
Oh fuck yeah, 100%.
His riffs pretty much single-handedly killed Youth Crew. So I appreciate him for that.
I would say him. I would say Paris. I would say
allegedly, right?
Yeah, what Paris or Doug?
We'll find out next week.
I would say Paris. I would say Skip. No, not Skip. Who played guitar in Turning Point, Bob? Do you know?
Jay Laughlin.
Jay, that's right, Jay. Yeah. And then I'd have to think about the fourth.
Is this Bo's Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, this is my Mount Rushmore of hardcore riffers. and then 3 Gun, Florida Frank.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
This would take me too long. Yeah. So I'd have to do a fucking whiteboard with a science project behind me to deduce. But Aaron Melnick, his brothers, legends. Armenian legends, dude. Armenian Persecution, one of the greatest hardcore songs ever. Anyway. We'll talk about him more in a second. Trapped Under Ice closed out day 1, Bob. You said you wouldn't hit the pit, and then you hit the pit.
I did.
What's up with that?
There's just something when TUI plays Gemini. I just like turn into a completely new human. And
Are you a Gemini?
No.
Poser.
No.
I mean, it's fucking Trapped Under Ice, dude. Like, that's another band. Like when I was kind of Tampa, obviously doesn't have like a lot of like they have venues, but nothing really that made sense, like how I wanted the show to be or whatever. So they played the Orpheum, and it was good because it's fucking Trapped Under Ice. But I was like, fuck, dude. I was like, I want them to come back and play like in a much better spot, like where it should. It's like more of like what TUI set should be. And then seeing them at this spot, like basically getting to like redo them from 7 years ago, like it's kind of like upgraded. You know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah.
seeing the people, like nobody left before them. Like obviously it's a headliner, so it's always stressful with that shit. But the room is fucking packed, and people were screaming every word. And Justice was on one foot, looking cool as shit. Like,
dude,
it was like Brendan playing drums. Everything was awesome. Yeah.
Made me so nervous to see Justice because he was walking around with a cane because he had broken his foot not too long ago in like November. So he's walking around with a cane, and then I was thinking to myself, like, how's he gonna play? And he just raw dogged it. And it's like, man,
Just did it.
Fuck, that's scary. That's so scary.
As we've said many times on here, TUI is like a once in 5 generations type band.
Yep.
They united the world. Like you can like any kind of hardcore, and there's gonna be something you're gonna like Trapped and Rise for some reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. It's also,
I think they can headline the FYAs of the world forever.
It's crazy too, the amount of people who we've talked to at other times that at other shows that TUI played all over the world, literally, where it was like, oh yeah, I never saw them because people are young. And it's like, dude, they were on the road like fucking maniacs back in the day. So and then took such a long hiatus that it's pretty.
They were, but they stopped pretty much all together touring in like 2013.
Yep.
Oh, really?
12.
Was it that?
Yeah, it was that long ago, which for us has gone by pretty fast. But hundreds of thousands of new hardcore kids have been born since then. So they got to make their way around the world a couple times before everybody has seen them.
Yeah. But the excitement of people who get to see them, is what I'm saying, is like palpable. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And they're getting these like TUI shows when I was young or touring with them initially were like very violent.
Yeah.
And now, because the lyrics, so many people connect with the lyrics. That's kind of like, that was the thing that I think you did unite the people with Trapped and Rise, was that, they were going dun 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 dun, but also he very clearly has actual things to say.
Yep.
And even if he's saying of a 300 syllable sentence about the depths of Baltimore, there's still something within it where you go, that's because that sounds a lot like me. Listening to Trapped and Rise is a lot like watching like Drive,
Yeah.
Where you go, he's just like me, and he ain't nothing like you in reality, but we connect with it in some way.
That's good. I like that.
Just one of the greatest bands, period. And that was day one. Pardon this interruption. We got some very important messages to tell to you, the HardLore audience, because listen, I know you're thirsty after FYA. I know your body's deteriorating after FYA. You got sick. It happens. Your immune system is shot, but ours are not.
I'm not sick.
I'm not sick one bit. And I'm not going to say that it's because of this.
No, I would never say that.
I can tell you that overall, my daily intake of vitamins, antioxidants, probiotics, etc., is through the roof since I started drinking AG1.
That is absolutely right. I had AG1 with me. Did you have it with you?
Oh, yeah. I didn't miss a day.
We fly with it. I'm about to take mine right after we wrap up here. If you use the link in the description below, you get 5 of the travel packs, which are very handy. Throw them right in your toiletry bag or your bum bag, whatever you got. And you also get a year's supply of the vitamin D and K drops.
It is, do you need more energy in your day? Do you need to be drinking less coffee throughout your day? Do you need to just feel overall better? The things that your body is missing are all inside this little green powder. Mix it up with 12 to 16 ounces of cold water. Drink it back, shoot it back in one sip. You'll never even notice.
Nope.
You'll really feel when you don't drink it.
That's what we say.
And that's the biggest piece of advice I can give you. I don't travel without it. Bo doesn't travel without it. I really can't live without this stuff at this point.
I love it.
athleticgreens.com/hardlore. 5 free travel bags, a year supply of vitamin D. Check it out. This episode is also brought to you by MANSCAPED.
The kings.
The kings of this show, really. They are the kings that keep giving. On the subject of FYA, as we said last week, you know, fests are stinky.
Oh my God.
This one in particular.
This one gets humid. It gets warm.
It gets wet in there. It gets wet and wild. And the only thing you can do is put some crop preserver on, put some crop reviver on. You need to get on Manscaped.
Hey,
okay.
they got deodorant, they got cologne, they got body wash, they got all kinds of stuff. What's the ball mop thing?
Oh, the crop mop.
The crop mop.
They got wipes. They got wipes for your nuts.
Hello.
And they're gender neutral.
Yeah.
As are nuts, you know?
As his hair. And if you need to
As
trim
his
it,
hair.
they got that stuff
You need
too.
to take care of yourself. If you've got Scape, they can man it. Your balls will thank you. Your draws will thank you. Trademark HardLore.
That's 2. That's amazing.
I know.
What do they get, Colin?
They get 20% off and free shipping with code HardLore. I'll buy anything if I get 20% off and free shipping.
What is it? I want it. Send it.
Challenge me. Send me a link to something that's 20% off and free shipping. I swear to God, I'll buy it. But you got to use code HardLore and get our Manscaped.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manscaped, for once again sponsoring the show. Almost 2 years running now. It's a beautiful partnership. We love Manscaped. Manscaped, I hope they love us. We'll see. Thank you, Manscaped. Quick shout out,
Quick one.
Bo,
Yes.
to Black Magic Pizza.
Woo!
We swung. They opened. They were closed the day we were in Orlando. They opened just to feed us.
Just to feed us. And let me tell you,
Incredible.
incredible pizza.
This is not a sponsored ad. This is just us wanting to shout out some cool hardcore kids in Orlando doing a cool thing.
If you're in the Orlando area, you don't want chain, you don't want something at Universal or Disney or whatever, you're just looking for something, they're open late. It's real easy. Walk up, grab you a slice, grab you a whole pie.
Your whole pie. The cannolis, dude?
I was just going to say the cannoli was great.
Oh my
The
God.
garlic knots. Hello.
Yeah. They had it all. Check out Black Magic Pizza. Thank you guys so much. Back to the episode.
My name's Clerp, and
It really is.
I'm from Nashville, but I live in Augusta, Georgia.
Yeah.
Wow.
I met her in Nashville.
Yes.
At
Big
the end.
time friend of the show. What's your worst mosh injury of all time? Because you were up front the whole time this show. I was worried for you.
And Pitt the
Actually,
hardest.
it might have been today. I was in the fetal position next to the stage during Balmora because I got socked so fucking hard.
You got socked in the tummy?
Dude, I got
The tummy?
I got spun cucked in the tummy. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing?
Therapy?
Yeah, that's. You can spin kick and also give advice.
Thank you, Cliff.
I had to double up on my fucking socks, dude. It's so fucking cold.
Dude, I'm burning alive in this room.
It's 2 degrees outside.
So pathetic.
My body wash was frozen this morning. It was icy.
I saw that. That was awesome. All right. Day 2. Before day 2, I don't want to get too much into the between the days gambling type stuff this time around just because I lost a bunch of money and I never got it back. And that's all there is. That's the whole story this time.
Yeah. We ate Jets.
We ate Jets. That was good.
That was
between
Brandon.
Tampa?
Brandon.
yeah,
Florida.
no, in Brandon.
Brandon.
Bob.
Yeah.
I don't. What the fuck?
You didn't know that?
I straight up. I had no idea. Damn it.
Oh, dude, that's a FYA ritual for us.
Fuck. All right. Well, I got to
You
keep
hit the
that in mind
Brandon
myself.
Jets. It closes at midnight.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Let's go, Brandon. The best Jets east of Detroit, I would say. A good one.
That was
Anyway,
good.
yeah, I lost a bunch of money.
Yeah,
Never got it back.
Casino wasn't good.
That's the whole story. Hard Rock Tampa, scumbag, shithole. I'll never be back. I'll be back next year to get it all back. Today, day 2 started with Balmora. Balmora is a very special band. Connecticut, young lads. We had a good chat with Jay outside. He's 19 years old. He is a prolific riffer and writer. He's the future of aggressive music. He's my new muse, I would say, is Jay. He looks insane, which I like. Here's a few words from Jay. Please welcome Jay from Balmora. You opened today.
I did open today, that's true.
Some are calling it one of the greatest opening fest sets of all time.
It was definitely something.
You did great. Your swag's out of control.
I wanted to do something dope. My hair was supposed to be up, but then I realized that instead of gel, I accidentally grabbed mousse. Perfect. So my shit is just fucked
I'm
up.
going to be honest with you. I kind of dig it.
No, you're doing all right.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's a young.
19 years old, 4 bands. That's the dream. That's the hardcore that I know and love. That's the hardcore. That's Connecticut, baby. What's Balmora all about?
Balmora is all about Souls games.
Dude! Are you serious?
Yeah.
We gotta talk.
We're all about Souls games.
Cut the camera.
My voice is fucked. We're all about spin kicking, Souls games, Connecticut.
Oh my god.
Switching tongues.
Balmora, the greatest band of all time.
How about that? Pants.
What a cool guy.
Pants too big for his goddamn
Biggest
feet
pants you ever seen.
I ever seen.
Tell me about putting Balmora first, day 2, Bob.
So that whole scene that they've created, the FYA scene or whatever, however you pronounce that, it's just like, to me, that's what hardcore is. Like, it's you and a bunch of your friends just like, hey, like, we want to see this happen. There's nobody doing this. Like, we want to do it. We're just going to fucking do it ourselves. So, you know, obviously there's people like who are not into it and that's whatever. And like, even with that kind of shit, it's like a very thin line of what I like and what I don't like, but they hit the like undying prayer for cleansing sweet spot for me, like perfectly. And I straight up love that band. And I saw the thing, they could have played much higher, but I was like, day 2 is so fucking hard to get people there early. And like going back to, I put 3 Knee Deep first on the second day at the Cuban Club the one year, just to like make sure people were there. And like, it was like fucking psychotic. So every year I try to just do something that makes people get there early. And,
so this was a tactical maneuver.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And like, I was like, dude, like their songs are long as fuck. I don't want to like give them 15 minutes later on. So it's like, if I put them first, I could start 10 minutes early, give them the full set so they're not cheated. And dude, yeah, like I think I was talking to like the woman who helps with the venue or whatever, like in the first couple of songs, I walked in and there's a crowd from the fucking stage to the bar. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I figured it'd be, you know, like kind of diehards, just like there early, just like fucking each other up. And the place was fucking packed and it was like insane. So, and then the Laid to Rest cover like popped off, like everything about it was fucking great.
It was 20 minutes of Connecticut glory, I would say.
Yes. It was beautiful.
Of 860, 203 glory. It was beautiful. Balmora, the future. We'll keep them in mind for the HardLore Awards later this year. Collateral was next. Florida HC. Tell me about Collateral.
That's just so there's a band Be All End All from there, and it's basically like half of that band, and it's not like too different, but it's like the same kind of vibe, and that's what to me it's just funny having them and Balmora back to back because I feel like that's what FYA is. Like it's not just, you know, bands that all sound alike and only one kind of thing like pops off. So I like doing them back to back just to fuck with people a little bit. And then, yeah, just seeing them like right after Balmora, just like crush it, like play like 8 songs in 7 minutes or whatever the fuck. Like they're incredible. And they have a new record coming out this year on Scheme, sadly. But I think, they're just,
what's
they're fucking
Scheme?
Awesome. Scheme Records, Colin Island's record label. He's a dirtbag, but the label's great. I love that label. But yeah, they're just fucking sick as hell. And then seeing,
hell yeah,
obviously, the more Florida bands on, the better. So it's always good seeing people from their own state and get a reaction like that.
Yeah, this was, I mean, it stayed lit, which at noon is very difficult.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And this was still awesome. And it was what's cool is Balmora kind of sounds like Florida HC of yore, you know?
Yep.
Of
it's
yesteryear.
Yeah, it's kind of like the two timelines of Florida converging on the one thing, which is pretty funny.
100%. And Collateral is modern Florida hardcore. It was a very cool back to back. The final Agony was up next. This is Aaron Melnick's band.
Yeah, so my buddy Connor wrote and recorded everything for the demo, and I just thought, I was like, dude, this is so, if you like Integrity or any Clevo shit, like it's perfect. You know what I mean? And I have like a super like a spot in me that just like loves Clevo sound and shit. And
who doesn't?
I just thought they were fucking sick. So I was like, yo, I just want you guys to play. Like, I don't know how many kids are gonna even know what the fuck this is. I don't really care. But yeah. I was like, you got to just make something happen and like get a lineup, because he wrote and recorded everything himself. So he had to like even put together a lineup, and the lineup is fucking crazy. And then you had Aaron Melnick like being added to it and being like psyched on it is just like, that's awesome to me. You know what I mean? And then he was just melting people's faces the whole fucking time. And I was just cracking up every solo that would start.
He's the guy. He's the OG solo guy.
Yeah.
In hardcore.
Wow.
Yep.
That was, I mean, that who better to get in that position? Very cool. I've never seen him play live until this. So I think that was special for a lot of us sub 40 corpsmen. You know? Sub 40 team had a good job, had a good time. Moment of Truth was up next. Tell me about Moment of Truth, Bob.
It's just so they've had some like lineup changes over the years, and then like the 1 year they're supposed to play and they had to drop off kind of last second. So it's kind of like 4 years building up to an actual Moment of Truth at FYA set. And they played Philly earlier this year at the From Within showcase, and like the entire room spread out, getting the shit beaten out of them, and it was just like fucking perfect to me. So I was like, I can't wait for this at the fest. They did the dual singers, even though they both did the exact same thing, which is just awesome. And then it was just
that brings a tear to the eye, you know.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome, and I was glad that after years they finally were able to pull off a set at the fest.
Fantastic. Dual singers, keep it going. Have fun. There's no rules, you know? Get weird. Moment of Truth. Great job. Demonstration of Power from Glasgow, Scotland. Wow. This was awesome because we saw them at Outbreak this year. Mm-hmm. And this was one of the sets where it was like, why? I'm so glad that you brought them over because how many amazing UK bands are there that completely go over the heads of the dumb American audience?
Yeah, I mean that whole Scotland squad. I think the first time they came over was they had a band called Servitude forever ago, and like I was like, "Yo, I literally don't have any more room on the fest, but if you for some reason want to come over and play the pre-show, I have a spot for you, whatever." And they're all just down like instantly. And then ever since then, like that whole group of bands, the same thing with like the Fire thing or whatever. Like, dude, who the fuck? Like I've played Scotland on tour. Like Scotland has never had like a crazy scene. You know what I mean? As far as I know. And those kids have built it up and made it such a fucking like destination. I mean, they do the Northern Unrest Fest. They bust their ass. Like they just love hardcore and they're constantly doing bands and putting out records and shit. So, Despise, Mourning, now DOP, like I just really like bringing them kids over because like I know they actually love like being at the fest and just being able to show again like Americans who like might not check out every demo or know what the hell's going on outside like their own scene or whatever. They're like, yo, man, there's like crazy shit going on. So like here's this awesome, insane band that's just like psychotic live. And, I feel like a lot of people, if they didn't know who they were before that, came away like, what the fuck did I just watch? You know what I mean?
100%. The UK really leans hard in terms of its bands. So I feel like if the average American listener spent one day just researching like new UK hardcore bands, they'd find 5 of their favorite bands.
Yesterday I was taking it easy, and then today, like, Demonstration of Power came on. I had to get in there a little bit, Like,
you like Scottish music?
Yeah, I caught a stool.
A stool?
That's the bourbon.
Like poop or?
Oh, the other night?
Sitting object.
No, pre-show.
How tall are you? 6'5"?
I'm like 5'10".
I'm also about 5'10", and we're neither short nor tall.
Let's see if we're both 5'10". Why don't you get up for me?
You're not 5'10".
No, you guys.
You're saying he and I?
Yeah. Wow.
I guess.
Spitting image. One of you is not 5'10". I'll say that much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Was he taller?
You were tall.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, straight up. Yep.
Regarding Demonstration Power, Miles, who was filling in for them at the time, was involved in a serious car accident. I believe he's in a medically induced coma right now. They've set up a GoFundMe for him. We're going to put the link below. So if you could click on that and support him, I know that they would really appreciate it. I hear he's a staple in UK hardcore, so it saddens me to think about what they're going through with that. So please check that out. Consider donating or sharing. And Demonstration of Power kicked ass. COMBUST was I got to transition into COMBUST from that.
What did I tell you after watching them?
That they did all your favorite things?
We talked a couple times about how like they are a perfect example of all my favorite New York hardcore things. And that if I found them when I was fucking in high school or 18 or something, they would quickly be one of my favorite bands. Like,
this was amazing.
Yeah.
And we talked to Andrew last year, and my first thought was like, damn, why isn't Combust playing this? So this year, they put out that awesome promo. They're going to put out a new LP on Triple B. I feel like they really, like Bo said, it's like they're doing so many of our favorite things in New York hardcore that it's like happening for Combust now. So and this set being so good affirms that. Tell me about putting Combust on, Bob.
I hate the term hardest working band in hardcore. I think it's like the most annoying, like bear trap ass fucking compliment on earth. It's like, you fucking play shows, man, relax. But they truly like bust their ass, like, and just seeing them kind of just like grind it out and just like, you know, just you could see like the first time they came through Philly, the second time, like you could see like people catching on more and more. And I think the music's getting better and better. And like now, you know, I think the new songs are awesome. And they all just are down for hardcore. They love hardcore. They'll come to Philly on a Sunday night for a fucking show, mosh the whole time, like whatever. And like, anytime there's a band of kids that actually like really loves hardcore and like, you know, just that's all there is. Like, yeah, we're Combust, we're a hardcore band, whatever. And it was kind of just, I even apologized. Like, dude, it took me a while to put you guys on. I don't know why the fuck it took me so long, but I'm glad you finally did and you got the reaction you deserved. Because honestly, I feel like in the past it would have been good, but I think now, like the timing for this now, I think it was like by far the best possible set they could have played.
Perfect timing. We're all in on the Cum Boys, and we wish them a great long success. This really rocked. And I would say the hardest working band in hardcore thing was an easy phrase to clown on, but now it's kind of easy to grow without doing much work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like things that never didn't lift a finger can get really popular.
Sure.
Combust is not that.
Yeah.
So I do think you're dead on and with that phrase that we hate so much actually applying in their case.
Yep.
Good job, Bob. Come bust. Finally. HAYWIRE's up next. Brand new band featuring friend of the show, Buried Dreams frontman Austin Sparkman.
Mm-hmm.
This set was incredible.
It was awesome.
This HAYWIRE is like the Think I Care era of Boston.
Yep.
They're doing everything I want, like modern Boston hardcore to be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This was one of my favorite sets of the weekend.
There was an incredible moment that really showcased Austin's like sense of humor to me, where someone's guitar fucked up, so they needed a guitar, right? And they said to the sound guy, like, how much more time do we got? And the sound guy said, about 5 minutes, and not even into the mic, like truly to his own band, not directly. He also just went, that's like 4 songs. And it annihilated me. And it was so, like, the set was so good. I hear the Think I Care Boston thing, and then I hear the Oi thing together.
Yeah.
There's melodies, there's like sing-alongs, and then there's like hard,
which is
parts.
Classic Boston.
Absolutely.
That's like a whole other side of classic. It's that post Ireland Boston hardcore.
Gotta sing with my mates. Yeah, I love
the post Boondock Saints Boston hardcore is alive in HAYWIRE. Amazing set. Tell me about putting HAYWIRE on, Bob.
I think so. Last year, might even been at the fest a little bit afterwards. Austin was like, "Yo, I got a new band. I think you're gonna fuck with it." I was like, all right, well, I mean, as long as it doesn't suck ass, like, I'll put you on the fest, like, just because I think he's one of, like, the only, there's no personality in hardcore for the most part right now, and, like, he just is such a good frontman, and I just love watching, like, any band he's in, like, it feels like an event every fucking time, you know what I mean? So I was like, dude, the name of the band is HAYWIRE, it's him singing, I know this is going to be crazy, so I was like, fuck it, I was like, you guys are going to play, whatever. And, yeah, just see, because I've known him since he lived in like Ashtabula or whatever the fuck, like when he was like,
dude, he ran
or something.
Ashtabula.
Yes, and he's always been the man. And then so like just seeing him, like he's in like so many fucking good bands right now, and I can't believe the amount of shit that he turns out. Like he's like, oh, I have a new LP, like all written and recorded. I'm like, when the fuck did you even like find time to do this? And yeah, it might be my favorite band that he's done so far, and. Yeah, it was HAYWIRE is a very appropriate name for the band, I feel like, just like watching it live. It was just like ridiculous.
He's like silently one of the great musical minds of our time. I had the best time putting together the Buried Dreams LP with him. Hope to do it again. xWeaponx is up next. Wow, Bo.
Wow.
What a set.
My return to FYA from the Cuba Club to the Recreation Center. It was awesome.
To the Glazer.
Yeah.
Placer.
It was a lot of fun. I felt weird. I didn't want to be underprepared, and I had to bring a bunch of shit. As you know, I forgot something for the show. So I just there was like a lot of pressure, and I was like practicing in my hotel room the night before the set because I just didn't want to like. The guys drove down from Louisville, and we flew. And I just wanted.
And historically, have you blown it when you've played with them prior?
I've never blown it. I've never blown it. But like even to Brian's own admission, like there are tags in these songs that are like the same three notes just played in different orders, and they just get jumbled, you know. So it's just like little parts where I have to make sure I'm like remembering where I'm going. And you saw how I like kept the song straight on my quad cortex and everything. And
none of that even matters once the set starts. Though
the second it starts, I could care less, and I know they all felt the same way.
And this was so lit right immediately. This might have been the gnarliest like pile on of the weekend, which was like, holy shit, people making the X hands and stuff.
Yeah.
You brought them out. Tell me about xWeaponx, Bob.
Yeah.
They so when the day started, they literally had like a Cold World 2008 like merch line, and I was like, the set should be pretty good, I think. And then like just seeing people psyched to be X'd up, like getting X'd up by the kid Dave that sings, like people just like being psyched on Straight Edge, like I fucking love that, obviously.
Very special guest here. We've got Dave from Weapon X. How are you, Dave?
Brother, I'm great.
Did you have a good set?
Maybe the best set we've played so far. I think so. I think.
As a third party, I think I can objectively say it was.
You've seen a lot of them.
I've seen most of them.
I think you've seen most of them.
I might have seen all of them.
You maybe have seen all of them. I got bit.
That's old school.
I got fucking. Oh no.
Like dentures or real teeth?
I don't know. I just.
Oh, pinky?
Dude, during the intro, I just felt my fucking finger scrape across someone's tooth, and I was like, oh cool, I've got rabies now.
Yeah, that's your patient zero.
Yeah. Wow.
Is that?
You're all fucked.
That might be an edge break. Rabies.
Brian and Isaac have been lighting me up all weekend. So
Why?
For what?
My jeans.
Your jeans?
They say they're too tight.
Dude.
They're pretty tight.
Dude, one time I literally...
Big jeans.
I literally walked into a room one time and they're like, yeah, I hate when guys have like skinny ass jeans, and I was wearing my loosest jeans.
Wow. Some real haters, some real secret haters.
Oh,
they look sweet.
But,
absolutely.
But boy, do they dress good.
Because they get all their clothes for free anyway.
You've had every merch item that exists under the sun.
Ooh, yeah,
absolutely.
What is something that you see on the wall and you go, I gotta have that.
I want that.
Love a jersey.
Jersey?
Particularly a basketball jersey. Particularly a like Cabal style basketball jersey.
Like letters and numbers.
Letters and numbers. Like kind of like cool, like dope colors.
I don't think I've ever worn a jersey. I don't think I've ever owned a jersey.
Yeah, you don't give jersey.
I don't sport.
No.
You
That's
give
okay,
Dark Shadows.
Darknesses.
Johnny Depp version. God rest his soul.
Your guys' set last night was fucking nuts. Like,
here's your money.
We were talking about it afterwards. Your voice was maybe the most dialed in I've ever heard. I'm not trying. I'm not trying to ride here
without your ears.
I didn't have my ears in. It's whatever.
I don't even know what that means. I'm a fake musician.
Turn them off.
I don't even know what that. What is ears in?
Turn them off.
Leave them at the hotel, dude. You don't need them.
You don't need them. Just go with your gut.
Put some AirPods in.
Yep.
Look rich.
Yeah, I was listening to Travis Scott. You wouldn't believe it.
Gangster.
What's the best Florida band of all time?
Remembering Never.
That was so
Actually,
fast.
That was so fast.
Maybe not Remembering Never, but they're like number 2.
Yeah.
I love Morning Again.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Morning Again.
Morning Again.
I love Morning Again.
Are those your same answers for straight edge bands?
No.
Who's the best straight edge?
Throwdown. Throwdown's the one.
Excellent work. You're them now.
You're throwing man, that's maybe the nicest compliment I've ever gotten in my entire life.
I do that a lot.
So thank you.
Like to me, that band, like Brian and Isaac, like they don't need to do bands like that. They can just like sit at home and be like, oh, like we'll just wait for the next tour or whatever. Like, no, we're gonna do a band with our fucking brother and this dude that we just want to have like sing in a band or whatever. And to me, that's fucking awesome. Like that's just like what hardcore is to me. You know what I mean? Like you're just like kind of paying it forward. Like, hey, we're gonna help Louisville, you know, like with more bands and whatever, keep on like doing shit. And then, so I was psyched they were down to play. And then, yeah, just the set made me, as soon as it started, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. And like, it just, I loved it. It was awesome.
I had been having I hurt my back lifting during the week, played this set and did not take it as easy as I should have. And then the next day was like miserable. Like couldn't.
Yeah, it was awesome.
The last week, I'm finally feeling better today. It's Tuesday, you know, like over a week more.
Yeah, I'm finally hydrated 3 weeks later.
Bob, let's talk about that.
All right. Let's talk about it.
I want to
listen. I get it, Bob.
No,
there's nowhere to put all these waters. People leave undrank water bottles everywhere.
Well, but here's my question. I asked for waters for the band. I got 5 waters for the band.
5 guys in the band.
Yeah, but I'm a thirsty boy. Was there what was your mindset when it came to that? Because the reason I ask is because people don't consider things like, oh, the 7 o'clock, no more ins and outs. And there's a reason behind that. People might not think about why, like, there's one place to get food and drink from inside the venue because it goes in line with what the venue has, catering, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, there are aspects to Fest that obviously people think they just don't want people leaving. Well, no, man.
I don't want you getting your gun and coming back in my venue.
There we go.
Yeah, that's fair.
There we go.
Especially in Tampa, Florida. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the water thing. So it's not a real venue. It's not like they're just like, hey, here's all the water you could possibly need. Whatever. It's like a fucking community center. So the first year I had the water, I hit it, and I'm like, you know, bands will play. I bring them up. Getting very hydrated now. I guess. All right. Anyways, so I'm like walking around. I was like, that's weird. That person has a water that I hid. I was like, oh, that person also has. I was like, I was like, dude, why does everybody have this fucking water? And they had all gone in the closet and started just like taking the waters that were specifically for the bands. And
Fest goers were going in there?
Fest goers, people whose bands weren't even playing, whatever. Wow. And then I was just like, I was literally just like, it's like, you know, in Dirty Work when the guy's like wearing his shirt, like when he throws all his shit out, he's like, hey, that's my shirt. I was like, that's my fucking water. That's like for the band. What the fuck? Because once that water's gone, like I'm not, because I used to just go to like at Cuban Club, I went to like a Sam's Club and got like whatever 50 fucking cases of water, and I was like, dude, I'm not doing that shit anymore. So I was like, oh, find a nice hiding spot, like whatever. All the water got fucking taken, so there's like no water for like the last like whatever amount of time because they have to order it to the venue and shit. Right. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. So that was kind of my line in the sand. I was like, fuck it, no more like water just being out like for everybody. Well, and then day one there was like 25 cases of water with like 4 bands left. I was like, oh, I'm fucking golden, whatever. I go back after Twitching Tongues, I think. All the water's gone. And I was like,
it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I had one water the whole day.
I was like,
I'm still recovering.
People found the water, and the venue just decided to just take the water to the vendor spots and just sell the water. I was like, this is for the fucking, like, now I have no, like, God. There's a whole fucking thing, which is why we ended up with Dasani for the last, like, 2 bands, which I felt like the biggest fucking crumb on earth. I was like, oh, here's the worst water on earth. Like, you're going to be really hydrated.
Worst, yeah.
So, here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do next year, Bob. January 2025, HardLore will personally be sponsoring the water at FYA. We're going to have a HardLore water tent just for bands. You need the little laminate. You come there with a little laminate. I'll give you a water my damn self. All right.
I finally found a perfect hiding spot. So in theory, we shouldn't need to do that. But I won't tell you no. You can't do that.
We'll set up in the spot.
We'll do that too. We'll do both.
Yeah.
We'll tell you where the closet is, or I'll hand you a monster tour water myself. Big Boy, our beloved, my Bay Area brethren, Big Boy, the biggest boys you've ever seen playing now. Tell me about putting Big Boy on, Bob.
I mean, that's the same. Like I was talking about how much I love the Bay and I love everything those kids are doing and shit. Like when I asked Joseph about Tsunami, I was like, yo, like I want Big Boy, you know, can we do both you and Big Boy? Like, I feel like that'd be like awesome. And like he was down, and that's another band. They played Philly, and I put him at like this super small spot, and it was just like fucking ridiculous. So it made me even more psyched for the fest. And then his mosh calls crack me up. Like I hate. Usually don't like. You could tell when people have been like sitting in the mirror talking about it for months. Like, oh, this can be hilarious, but he's just naturally hilarious. And him just even at the after show, like just saying what set a world record for most cartwheels in a bar at 1:30 in the morning, and then people just cartwheeled. Like I just when he shouts out the big girls, where the big girls at. Like I love I love the vibe of the band. I think the songs are fucking like sick. So yeah, that set was out of control.
After shows, Bob. How do you feel about them? You do.
I sure do. They're a necessary evil. Just because there's some bands. I'm like,
why?
Because there's some bands. Like it's weird. Like I did Drain last year or the year before, sold out, crazy, Tsunami, crazy, whatever. It's just like there's no rhyme or reason why they are good or not good for some reason. Like,
true.
But it's like there's some bands I'm like, yo, Out of Pocket. Like I want you to come out. I can't really give you what I should be giving you for the fest. So, like if you want to do this as well, like I could help more, like cover your guys' costs and all that shit. Or when bands have like guarantees that I'm like, it's a little much for the fest, but I want it to happen. I was like, if you want to do another show to kind of help with that shit, it is.
So it's an economic necessary evil.
Yeah, and like there is bands like I really wanted the Young Kids and Discontent to be part of the fest, but like it didn't really make sense to have them on the fest, so I brought them down for the after show. Grand Scheme, I really wanted to be on the fest, and they just couldn't get an answer to me in time, so I was just like, all right, well, like if you're down for this, just because I want you guys there all weekend. I'm so like, but here's the after show also. It's like it's miserable a lot of the times, like especially early on. I remember the year I did like Race Trader or something like that. It didn't end till like 3 a.m. and I was like, what the fuck am I doing, dude? Like this is like I don't know why.
And then you're back at the venue at what, 9:30, 10?
Yeah, like earlier than that. But yeah, like yeah, that's why I only this year I only did 3 bands, and like both shows are over about like 12:30 or something like that. So like
that's better.
That's amazing.
That's better.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like it's not my favorite thing, but there is people that like going there, and like I said, it helps the bands out a little more with money and shit. But the after show in theory is as a whole is dead. I think like just the idea of an after show, like people are fucking tired of shit. And I don't blame them. Like if I didn't have to run the show, there's no fucking way in hell I would be there. I'd be like, yeah, I'm just going to Zaxby's and going home or something. But
doors at 11 means to people. Anybody that's still moshing 12 hours later is a hero to me,
dude. Oh,
you're a hero. I respect you. I'm drinking a Red Bull. They ain't been drinking water. I'll tell you that. But I think the worst. Not the worst, but the most miserable set I've personally ever played was a United Blood after show. And bless them for having us, because it was just to have us,
Yeah.
It was like just so that we could be there, and thank God. But oh my God,
what time did you play?
Playing at 3 a.m. Nobody should do it.
No,
nobody should be there. Nobody was being there.
We played Italy one time, and doors were at 11.
But that's Italy.
Yeah, but that's Italy. But I think that's
those motherfuckers nap for dinner.
It's the latest I've played. It's like maybe midnight.
It feels so icky.
It feels real weird.
Yeah, I don't feel good when I'm there. I'm like, all right, let's wrap this up here, boys. We gotta.
You wear ear protection, Bob?
No. I'm gonna wake up one day and not be able to hear shit. So it is what it is.
It is likely. I'll tell you what. The return of Hard Stripes up next. Very cool to see them back. It's Lee from Division of Mind singing. Yeah. This is the other half of their spirit, their essence.
Yeah.
Tell me about having Hard Stripes on, Bob.
Yeah, I'd heard they were gonna do like a couple shows, and I was like, they played a couple FYAs, and like I think I might even Beware might have played like their first show or something like that. It's like I love Hard Stripes, and just again a new generation of kids that had never seen them being able to like be like, oh shit, like the guy from Division of Mind is in like a band that sounds like 86 Mentality or something. Yeah. And the shit he was saying about like tell your booking agent to suck my dick, and then the Cock Sparrow cover, everything about it was like perfect. And it made me so awesome. Fucking it just again, a lot of people just don't speak up about shit or don't have anything to say, and you could tell he like had a lot to get off his chest about, quote unquote punk bands and all that shit. So it made me fucking psyched.
Beautiful. Great band. Love to see him back rocking. Restraining Order is up next. CTH motherfucking C. How much do you love Restraining Order, Bob? This is Bob Wilson HC to the core.
Oh, dude, even when they first came out and they had like the new age shit, I was like, I don't understand why everybody isn't like fucking with us. This is like perfect punk hardcore to me. It's like catchy, has like good mosh parts and shit. And Pat's such a good front man. And I just every time I see them, it's like they just crush it. And then they I think it played like a few years in a row. And then last year I was like, oh, you guys got a new record coming next year. Let's just like chill this year and come back with the new shit. And then I think that helped them out a lot. And
big time.
Yeah, like, dude, like, they just, I don't know the last time I saw them not get a good reaction, you know what I mean? So it's always going to be people piling up.
This is one of the best.
We've
seen them a lot over the past couple of years doing this show, and this was one of the best ones.
Yep.
One of the best records of last year. Keep my man, my OG, Keith Freeman, finally getting a win is...
He was in the trenches for years. It was great.
He was in the trenches, dude. For me, for everyone. And now he's here playing FYA. Thank God.
Yeah, he's the man.
Restraining Order. Fantastic. Magnitude is up next. This is some Southern royalty right here. Are they FYA is kind of their hometown fest, technically, right? Being Carolina and Florida.
Yeah, it somehow gets said a lot, but I also thought it like Wisdom in Chains is to This Is Hardcore as Bracewar is to Sound and Fury as Magnitude is to FYA. Like they came out, they put the demo out. I immediately was like, yeah, you guys got to play. Like, and then again, like every year I'm like, I don't know if they can top last year. And then it's just, crazy pylons, fucking people going off the new songs. Russell always has some crazy Lord of the Rings shirt saying awesome shit between songs.
He really does.
So yeah, I love that band. I love the spirit of that band just makes me like excited. You know what I mean? That's like what hardcore is to me, and I hope they play every year.
Well, that's up to you.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So you book the fest.
You heard it here. This is breaking news. They're playing next year. Never Ending Game is up next. Our good buddies, one of the best records of last year. The best breakdown of last year.
Oh yeah.
This was a no-brainer to have them back, right?
Yeah, I mean that's like another same kind of way like Mag. Like the NEG demo came out and like I hit up Will instantly. I don't even think they played a show yet, and I was like, please come down to Florida and like fucking play. Like I was like obsessed with that shit when it came out. And then I love the dudes in that band. I think they're just like a perfect hardcore band, and the new record is unbelievable. And the pit for what Hate Today, Die Tomorrow, whatever the fuck. Like come on now, man. Closing with Tank on E was a power move, I think.
That was a power move.
Incredible song, and they're just the fucking best.
The H2O shirt.
I hope there's not a video of me when he takes his hoodie off and he's just wearing that, because I looked and that's all I saw, and I just started cracking up immediately. Like I love Strong. I really like the first 3 records, but just wearing that in 2024, just something about it just fucking destroyed me.
The bit he's doing a lifelong bit, and it's
he's very committed.
He's operating on some like Andy Kaufman-esque
really
type humor,
Really interesting.
He's a genius, this guy, Mikey. MINDFORCE is up next. The Kings return to the scene of the crime. And then they did it all over.
Yeah, how many pits did they have?
I think there were at least 2 at some point during this one. Yeah. 2 pits. MINDFORCE is doing. I think they're kind of their own, a TUI-esque band for this new generation of core people. Here are these perfectly crafted, perfect sounding hardcore songs with clearly actual things to say. And then you see him live, and it's like it's not just a hardcore set. It's like a performance every time.
Yeah,
especially at FYA, it seems like.
Yeah, it seems like. I think that
they might have to be a staple.
I mean, I think they want to, and I'm obviously down to have them every fucking year. But after last year, I was like, God damn it, man! I was just like, I don't know how they can top that shit. And then I was actually worried that they were gonna like. I was like, dude, the pit is there. Somebody's gonna like just turn the bar on its side and just start stomping people out or something. I was like, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. And it was just like, it was probably better than last year somehow. The leeway and the all war intros back to back, like
beautiful.
It's just that's like a quintessential like FYA band to me. That's like perfect. Like they're just a perfect band. And then I don't know. Every year I just don't get how they can top the prior year. And then it's just like always I mean, Jay's dad being there.
That was really cool. I saw that.
Him telling him to just get the fuck off the stage at the end fucking killed me. It was just they're literally just the fucking best.
I would play every show imaginable with MINDFORCE, given the option. And I plan to. KOYO's up next. They had like a breakout set was that 2 years ago that they first played?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago, yeah.
I think that might have been my first time seeing them. And I like could not believe it.
Really?
Yeah.
A new band getting a reaction like that was very telling of like, oh, they're doing something real and it's working. So to see them now with an LP out, playing 2 years later, getting that reaction was awesome. Tell me about putting KOYO on, Bob.
That's a lot of bands in their position would just be like, oh, like, yeah, we played some hardcore shows and like whatever, we're on to whatever the fuck we're doing now. And they don't need to play this kind of shit. But like, I was like, yo, like, new record's awesome. Like, obviously all those dudes are super involved in hardcore. Joey does 51st State Records, like all of them. Like, it's not like they just like left the scene, quote unquote, behind. And then just, the set was stage dives the entire time. And I don't want it to just be 38 bands that sound like Kickback or cold, whatever. Like, I like people switching shit up and, the kids now, like, everything across the board. So I want to like at least try to switch things up, like sound wise. And they're like a perfect, like, palate cleanser or whatever the fuck band to me. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're spin kicking demons in their hearts and their souls, They're playing emo because they have to. They're spin kicking in their minds. No Warning is up next. What? Come on! This is another one of those bands where it's just like, come on.
Yeah.
It's like one of those bands that like I always wanted to have on, and I could never really figure it out, like just with other shit going on and whatever. And then I had like a couple spots left. I was like, oh, I'll see if like they're somehow down to play, whatever. And they're just like super down. And then that's another thing, like TUI, like, I mean, that fucking record came out 22 years ago, whatever the hell it was. And, pretty much every new crop of kids like finds that record and is like psyched on it. And then like, I've seen them a bunch since they came back. And like, that to me, like might've been like their best set since I've seen them start playing again. And it was just, playing fourth to last on a Sunday of a long ass weekend and still getting that reaction was fucking awesome.
It's impressive. It's a testament to the longevity of those songs.
Yeah,
in that band. No Suffer Survive tracks. How do you feel about Suffer Survive, Bob? You down?
I loved it when it was kind of like a secret society, and then it became this is obviously better, and I'm like, all right, man, like fucking relax. Like it's good. I like it, but it's just not Ill Blood. You know what I mean? But I do love that record.
I think I like the 7-inch the most.
Really?
Oh, I mean, fucking Day in the Life or whatever. Come on now.
Yeah, come on.
7-inch rocks.
My World, Pit. That's the one. Nah. That's my shit. Dude. Just a great band.
Great band.
Incredible discog. Incredible longevity. Jordan wasn't there. That was sad.
Yeah.
But aside from that, fantastic. Military Gun is up next. Having a banner year. Good friends of the show. One of our favorite records of last year, clearly.
Yep.
This fucking... Seeing the LP tracks, people knowing all these LP tracks now is awesome. Tell me about putting Military Gun on, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, I did RJC a couple times, right when they came out, and then I booked them in Philly a bunch. And then, for Military Gun, I kind of was like on the fence last year, and like for this year, I was like, I got a new record. Like, I want to at least, I feel like this would go over well there. And then, again, same deal, like third to last on the fucking Sunday, and then the set was still like that good, like. Again, same thing with KOYO. Like, I don't put things on purposefully, so it's just like, oh, I have this many of this kind of band, this many of this kind of band. But if the shit makes sense, and it's like, like I saw them in Philly a couple months ago, and like the vibe was awesome, and it was like a hardcore show vibe. And like, so I think that combination of things was really good. And yeah, I was like, they actually were able to play.
You ever have a conversation with Ian and see yourself and him at all?
Are you saying you do that, or are you saying?
No, I'm saying you. I'm saying you and Ian have a similar strand of little fucker gene. You know, the fuckerism that you.
Yeah,
I think it might be. There's some kind. There might be a distant relation.
There's something
somewhere
there.
in there.
Yeah, something there.
Just two fuckers, dude. Final, at last. Yeah, this was great to see. Obviously, Taco Bell can pay me all day. You know, I don't give a shit. I'm all about it. Give it to me.
You me.
Good job, Military Gun. Incendiary is up next. The landmark band in the We Can't tour. So you're gonna see us 4 times a year, maybe. Yeah. Book us on your fest. Ism. A no-brainer to have at really any fest.
Yeah, they haven't really gotten to play that much since the record came out. You know, I don't know the last time they even played. I think they did like the holiday shows in New York or something like that. But yeah, it's been real rare for them to play out since the record. So them getting to play this was like a pretty big deal. And then, I mean, yeah, they played, I think, the first 2 FYAs, at least FYA 2. And that was like huge for us because like, FYA wasn't shit then, you know what I mean? Like they were down to come play and like they had like a really fucking crazy set. And like those dudes.
And that was when their ascension was just kind of starting.
Oh yeah, 2014 or whatever the fuck, 2015.
13, 14. It took a while. Like the first record took forever to catch on.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Cost of Living was a hit pretty fast. So it was like this is right after Cost of Living. They're coming out to Orlando to the back booth. And rip it up for Bob.
For a band like that, like they've been around since like 2007 or whatever the fuck, and they are as big as they are, and just they don't have to be as cool to deal with as they are, and they're just normal dudes that just, you know what I mean? And like to me,
that's so fucking cool, dude.
Very easy. They're like the best, just normal ass in the best way possible. Like no weird illusions or delusions or whatever, and like they're just, hey, you want us to play it? Cool, this is what we got to do for it, whatever. And like we're always like to be there, and seeing them continue to like have the sets they do is like, it's obviously hard as fuck, like to keep people's attention for all this time. And like, they're always going to crush no matter where they play. How
genuine they are, I think is a big part of that. Because when we did a full episode with Brendan at FYA, that'll be up soon. And a big part of that is how when they started, they just wanted to play cool shows on Long Island.
Yeah.
I think they're just so grateful to still exist that they're going to be cool forever.
Because doing what they do, as you know, Colin, is like not easy.
No.
It's very difficult to stay. It kind of tells you how strong the songs are. Yeah. To be able to stay relevant when you can't play that much in the age where anyone can look up any music at any time and attention spans are so short, it just goes to show you that like those songs mean something to people and they're able to
truly an anomaly.
Yeah, truly.
A great one. Good job, Incendiary. Tsunami closing out FYA Fest. This was a cool move, Bob. I respect this. Taking a young band on the rise and saying this is your time, this is your moment, putting them at the top. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they did an entire tour of all DIY shit, sold out, I think, every fucking show. Like, they don't hide behind an agent and say we need this, and that, whatever. Like, I fucking texted Joseph and asked him if he'd be down, whatever. And like, for again, same way like Incendiary, like, dude, a band like Tsunami, they could easily just be like, oh, we need this, or we're hiring this guy to do this, that, and the other. And like, they are like the most like DIY band of their like size. Like, it's actually fucking insane. Like the fact they've been able to stay like this way. I mean, Gulch was the same fucking way. And like all those dudes have like the best outlook on hardcore to me. Like even at the beginning of day 2, I was like, yo, like I technically have a green room if you guys want like to go whatever. Joseph just looked at me, he's like, dude, no. Like, and I was like, all right, I had to offer. But like that just shows you like they're not just like, yeah, we'll be up there, we're not gonna watch the sets, like we're just gonna like come down, we play, like, and just everything that their attitude wise is like completely in line like with what I think like hardcore is and should be or whatever. And so yeah, same way with like I think them and Painted Truth made the 3-time in a row shirts or whatever the fuck. And like obviously,
oh yeah,
like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, like I don't like repeats, but like Tsunami, I'm like, dude, like again, you had the new record this year. You busted your ass all year, like in all these different spots, and like I think it'd be cool to have. I always like, I don't want it to just be fucking reunion fest. You know what I mean? Like, obviously the newer bands are what is important. So like, yeah, just putting them like last, I thought I was glad they were like not stressed about it. Like, yeah, we'll fucking headline, whatever. And then no weird shit with it. And then, you know, they fucking held it down. You know what I mean?
So cool.
They really did. And I've said it a lot on the show, but like Joseph, Mike, Theo in particular, they were part of the squad that made Bay Area shows good for so long, just by showing up and moshing. That's it. That's all you got to do for the most part. And eventually you're going to be inspired to start your own band.
Yeah.
And then the work that you've put in the pit will go towards your band's growth. I swear to God. Trust me.
You've said it 100 times.
Pitting.
Yeah.
And they will come. Tsunami is proof. Ben is 16 years old and 6'11". So I mean, he's great at drums and he's cool. But man, we're proud of them. We're happy for Tsunami. Bob, I really respect you putting them at the top. I really respect all the hard work you did on this incredible fest, kickstarting 2024. You did so good.
Yeah, but when does 2025 planning start?
I already have a couple bands for next year, so it's just kind of
son of a bitch.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of work. My brain doesn't
and
work
it shows.
Do you have any long shots, any Hail Marys you'd throw out there that you could tell us about? Like
none I could tell you about, but yeah.
But you do have some where you're like, man, if we could get them.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Good.
Fuck yeah.
That's fun.
Love that.
That's all fun. We hope to be there again. We really appreciate that. The space that you give us there and for having us once again goes a long way.
Yeah.
This time we hope to pay that forward for, there's incredible fests in this country right now. There's never been a better time to be into hardcore in America, in the world, really. And you're a big contributor to that, Bob. So thank you.
I appreciate it.
You got plans to play some gigs this year or what?
I have no fucking idea. I don't know. Maybe.
Malice at the Palace still a thing?
We might be playing a show in May.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Besides that, I'm not sure.
All right. Well, maybe Mother of Mercy is back officially as of today. We brought it back. Bob's back in Mother of Mercy. Bob down. He's not into it, but he's doing great regardless.
Like I said, I think this was the best year overall, and like I just hope that next year can like just keep on building on that. And then I hope younger kids came away like seeing bands like Bullshit and Collateral and other stuff, and just kind of just came away from the fest liking something they hadn't heard before. And hopefully next year the same thing happens.
We skipped right over them.
I was going to say,
yeah. Well,
they were on day one. I for some reason I skipped right to Burning Lord. Let's talk about Bullshit. They from
Swedish
Finland?
band? Yeah, Sweden.
Swedish.
Yeah. Whoa. I just randomly saw the record posted. I was like, this looks like it could be cool. And I checked it out and I like hit them up. I was like, yo, like if you guys want, I'll do like a US version of the record. So I love it. And if you guys want, like come play FYA, I think it'd be sick. And they're
That's
just
amazing.
a perfect hardcore band to me. I think they have an LP coming this year. And that whole Sweden right now has so many fucking good bands. So hopefully them playing makes people check out.
Historically, I mean, Sweden's like a top 10 musical region.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Yeah.
Ever. Right. Yeah.
Of all kinds of shit. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Bullshit.
Bulls.
That's our pick for Band of the Week. I skipped over them, so now they're the Band of the Week on HardLore. Check them out.
Hey, Bob, do you have aspirations to move to a bigger venue, or are you content with the size of the fest?
It's hard because like there isn't really like a bigger venue in Tampa. Like obviously this isn't even a real venue. It was just like some place that Robert Goodspeed actually, who's the fucking man, randomly found. It was like, hey, I think this could be cool for the fest. And so that's the only reason to even work like that. But like it's like to me, this is as big as it can be without feeling like a concert. Like I just want it to feel like a hall show, like a VFW, but like just on a like a bigger level. So if something came along and made sense that like I didn't have a stupid fucking barrier or like, because there is like a couple spots in Tampa that are like, yo, we just can't have stage diving. Like, and I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna have a fucking fest without stage diving. That's like crazy. But if something made sense, I would do it. But JCC is so awesome to work with, and just so like every year they're like, there's a lot of crazy shit that happened. This is awesome. This is so much fun. Can't wait to do it next year.
which is, dude, that's a miracle.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the woman that runs the venue saw somebody dive off the bar, saw people get like laid out. She's like, you guys are so crazy, but you're all so polite. And I'm like, hey man, if you are down for this, I'm down. Yeah. Like, so like finding a relationship with that is like hard venue wise, you know what I mean? So it's like hard for me to justify leaving. But like I said, if something came along and it made sense, I would maybe do it. But I like where I'm at right now.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
Is the woman that runs it the smaller lady that unlocked the room for us?
Was she pregnant?
Dude.
I didn't.
I think one of them
This one was 9.5 months pregnant or something like that. So
holy hell. That's half a month too money. Jesus.
Well, congrats to her.
Mazel.
Yeah, mazel. Big mazel for the baby. And thank you both for having us. FYA 2025, we're sponsoring the water, so don't worry. It's all good. We'll be so hydrated. No parchment. After shows will be wrapped up real early.
Tight.
It's gonna be a great year. We're not going to the castle anymore. We're not being sick perverts. None of you go there. They won't acknowledge my man.
They're not down.
It's over. Get over it.
It's over.
Just whip each other in private. You don't need to be doing it there. Sick freaks. All right. Thank you all for listening. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.